crust on top.
All right, guys, we are live. Welcome, everybody, to a very special edition of Might Be Brews. We are going to do a very, very cool and different live stream today. We are going to hand it over to the brewers. So anybody that's watching, please make sure you chime in, ask questions, give suggested topics. We can do 6 people on screen at a time. So myself and Mr. Steve are going to hop on and off back and forth, but let the brewers and the brewery owners do their thing and discuss things. So we're going to go ahead and kick it off here in a second. Gov from East Branch, I'm going to bring you back in. But I think what we want to start off with, we had some listener or viewer questions supplied already. But to start off, I want to ask everybody, do you think that Carol Baskins killed her husband?
Of course.
Yes.
No.
Probably, right?
The best way.
No?
I didn't see it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Someone killed him. It wasn't Carol, though.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. But so I think the first topic that I'm going to let you guys run with, and I'm going to bring Gov back in, is how are you guys hanging in there without the taproom business? So that'll be the first question to kind of kick things off, and maybe we'll just go around the screen. Start with Jay-Z up there, and I'm going to go ahead and bow out and let you guys take it. Here we go.
Question: how are we handling without business?
About the tap room.
Oh yeah, the tap room. It's just different. You know what? I got a customer coming up here. This is crazy. It's different.
Tell me, said hi.
Out. There's no draft sales. Everything's in cans.
Everything's costing more to make.
Yeah, everything's more. Yes.
Oh.
But it's fun. It's quaint. It's kind of like we're living in the apocalypse. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we're. I think when this thing went down, I'm sure you guys are the same as we were. We didn't know what was going to happen. Obviously, everybody switched their model pretty quickly on a dime. Very impressed with everybody. All the breweries that are represented. Seeing all of you guys just kind of flip into a delivery and curbside model. We did the same thing. And it's been going well. So the travesty is that we don't have that interaction with the customer in our locations anymore. And we had just opened Stables a month before this hit, and we had to sideline that. So, business is okay. It's just not the way that we wanted to do business. But we're thankful and appreciate everyone who's watching that's been supportive of all local businesses. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, same here. We switched on a dime like everyone else and went, takeout and then a little bit of curbside, and then we went right to delivery, pretty much right out of the gate, just to kind of start that process and kind of lead that into what we figured was coming down the pike, which was just that, everyone stay home and we'll bring the beer to you. So getting everything in cans and crowlers and eventually growlers as we wait for cans and crowlers to come in and all that stuff. But as far as brews and brewing and that sort of thing, it's pretty much the hoppy stuff is what's selling, so that's what we're putting out there. But like Jay-Z said, it's kind of interesting. It's a new way to connect and kind of a new way to take advantage of it in some sort of way to kind of, I think people are ordering our beer or getting our beer that may not have come to the tap house. So, just a new way of doing business. And when the tap room opens up, that'll be a bonus. So.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun.
It is. It's a beautiful countryside. I'll tell you that much. Montgomery County.
Yeah. I've seen every inch of Chester County in the past month.
It's great.
Are you the delivery guy, Dylan?
Yeah.
Good for you.
How far are you guys going out, Dylan? Like, what's your rate? You have a radius set up on your site or
Like-
something, or?
We can kind of draw it out as we want. So it's like
Okay.
to southern Westchester,
I see.
King of Prussia, Pottstown, and like
Wow.
the outer edges of Parksburg, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's, I mean, some days it works out great. I have things that are in a line. Usually it's not that way.
No. Can imagine.
And I honestly find myself driving on the same road 3 times a day sometimes, but I don't care. I don't care. I mean, people order for tomorrow. I try and get it out to them today. We're just doing it's right now. It's just Gov and I, and I help him a little tiny bit in the brewery, and like his job has just gotten harder and harder because now we're canning everything, which we canned a really small portion of our beer before.
Yeah.
So now it's, if I can help him, I do, and then I'm out on the road. And I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to do it.
I think that's the crazy piece of this whole business is we went from, probably we had just started canning not long ago, and now we're just like churning through pallets of cans.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might
It's a
have been 25% takeout before. Yeah, definitely different. We were maybe 25% takeout before. John, you're going to be on fire before this thing's over for sure.
It could happen. It could happen.
So
Yeah, we were like 25% takeout before, and now, obviously 100%. So big change for us for sure.
Brent just asked the question if we tasted each other's beers, and I can say that I have tasted everybody's beers there.
No, you're the man. Thank you. I got mine. This is what I get. No label. This is all I get.
This one's up next.
Oh, right on, man. Thanks. I'm getting high on my own supply, so.
And then this one's next.
Good man. Good man.
And then ended on this one.
That's a good beer.
That's
It's funny. It's tough though. Like, I don't know how many of you guys. I never get out of our brewery. I don't get out anywhere near as much as I'd like to. Drinking my own stuff 99% of the time.
When I do get out, it's so exciting though.
Yeah.
Going and hanging out at another brewery and not caring about anything else that's going on, just hanging out and drinking beer.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's weird.
not working.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
It's good.
I hear you.
See a difference in the styles that the public is buying? No.
No.
They're buying it all is what they're doing.
Yeah. I actually think that we've sold a lot more triple than we might have normally have for takeout. I think people might be a little bit more inclined to drink a 9.2 at home than out and about.
Sure.
It's true.
Yeah, our Arena, which is same thing, 9.2 Belgian strong ale, that was our biggest seller the whole time.
Wow.
So,
oh wow,
I think that's part of it. People just sitting at home, getting bang for their buck, I guess.
Yeah.
This is a good question. Are people buying larger portions? They are. The average order value for us is doubled because people are coping right now with food and alcohol. And that's not a mystery, and it's understandable. And everyone who's sitting by a fire, raise your hand if you're doing the same thing.
That guy over there, yeah.
But yeah, we get it, and we're lucky to be in this business to be able to help people cope through it. And but yeah, the volume and the amount that people seem to be buying is drastically larger.
yeah,
Definitely.
Well, I think once people get out of their house, they're just going to buy what they can when they can. And in our case, we're not doing any delivery at this point, so when people show up, they brave the outside. They're just going to they want to load up.
Yeah.
Which by the way, Jay-Z, I'd be drinking the all together right now, but Kevin won't deliver it to me.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That beer is awesome.
I'll get it tomorrow.
Well, speaking of the all together, you guys did a really nice job with the segue there. I've got the current collab between Brothers Kershner, Stolen Sun, and Suburban.
Nice.
So this beer originally came from the guys at the other half, and they put out this recipe for everybody to brew, and the proceeds going to support hospitality professionals. So I'm going to get into this beer here a little bit. Why don't you guys that worked on this together tell us a little bit of how A, you collabed on this, and B, what kind of proceeds, what kind of people are going to get the proceeds from a beer like this?
So that's more of like a Baz question. I think like for the proceeds, we're kind of waiting to figure out, like, everything's been moving so fast, and we have all these projects going right now with the Thank You Brews, and with the All Together, that we're really just like bundling and trying to figure out like where to start getting product to people. We've started donating a lot to West Whiteland Township up here. And I think on the service piece, we're going to look to doing some local community arts contributions.
I tell you, I didn't take a sip of it yet, but the hops are just jumping out of the glass before I even get into it.
When we were in that beer, it just smelled like steak. It was delicious. Yeah, that's one of those beers when you can it, you just smell it throughout our whole brewery. Or actually, I mean the whole building.
It's definitely very tasty. Like the hop is just so forward in that bad boy. If you're a hop head, get after this one.
It's about 5 pounds a barrel, I think we put in there. And actually, I didn't even touch it. Our brewer Chris, where's Baz at? I know, like
his internet died.
Yeah, he dropped out.
Like mine did earlier. Yeah.
I know Baz was working on it with Chris here at the brewery, and Corey over at Suburban, and they were kind of put their heads together what they wanted to do, and then Chris pretty much took control, and we're not letting people in the brewery, so having a collaboration today is really tough. But the nice piece is we were able to get it out in cans and get it out across, and it was a good project for all of us.
So did you guys each brew a batch individually? Was this all done in one brewery?
We brewed here everything at Stolen Sun, and we just collaborated through the internet and through what we're doing now. And hey, there's Kevin. What's up, buddy?
Is this thing on?
What's up, Madonna?
This is my wife's sweet headset. You guys like it?
That's pretty sweet.
I made it just in time. Sounds like we're talking about the collab beer.
Yeah.
Right on. Cheers, guys.
Oh, good to see you.
You too. Look at all these smiling faces. All right.
Just
quit hot yesterday. You're right, Seth.
Sure.
Maybe hopscotch.
It's a terrible time.
Hey, Katie. How are you? Hey, Katie. Good. Good stuff. Good stuff. No way.
Negative.
Negative. That question came from Greg Anderson. I know it.
We actually have. We do a expo permit at a restaurant, and like let people pick up beer to go with the food they're taking out. And some people just like, I just want a beer with my food. So we'll sell them a $5 can of beer if they want a $5 can of beer, But that's the only time we do it. We wouldn't do it online. I mean, it's already complicated enough with us online. So.
Jason Gill asked that. Yeah, okay. All right, Jason. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I think the question was more like splitting up cans into 4-packs or something.
Yeah, We've done that too, but it's only like in special cases.
It's just 4 beers, man. Just buy 4 beers.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, I mean, I can't speak for all you guys, but I mean, every beer we make has a different cost of goods sold, and it's a different price point, and that would make it would just be complicated from a inventory management for us. And like, I think Dylan, just drink the other 3. It's all good. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
Find a friend.
But stay away from them.
Find a way. You can do it.
Find a friend. Just don't get too close.
We believe. Yeah, we're the same opinion. I mean, just right now we're doing delivery only. I think Baz already mentioned. So for us to break out the 2 beers that we have in cans right now until the next can run and try to split it up just doesn't make sense. May as well just go for it. Get to it. 1 of each.
Yeah. Kev, you're not doing curbside. You're just doing delivery.
We are delivery only. Yeah.
Okay.
That was a tough one to make, but it kind of made sense just with the risk. I got a wife that's expecting. We got kids with asthma, protect our employees, the whole 9. So we're like, what? We'll limit contact and just go from there.
Yeah.
Hey, congrats, Kev. I didn't know that.
Thank you.
Man.
Number 3. God hell, it's gonna be okay, guys.
It's easier.
Talk about coping. My man Devin Mack.
How do you
What's up,
choose
Devin?
what they respond to?
How do you decide how to interact with people? Every channel. I mean, we interact with everybody in every channel, and that's how we stay connected to everybody. And good to see you, Devin, on here. Oh, and Devin, I'm drinking a clear beer. And, I got this rare barrel sour that's coming up after this. Cheers, brother.
I think right now our responses are pretty straight into the point, just because we're running around like crazy and we get a lot of the same kind of questions over and over. But there are a lot of questions I just let go because it's not even a real question. Maybe just think about it a little bit.
You mean somebody like asking you that you need to change the hops or do this different in your brewing process or something like that? We've gotten those kind of let go.
Can I come in for dinner tonight?
Yeah. Oh, you
Come on.
Read the news, man. Come
really?
I would imagine you would get those.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm kind of busy right now.
Give them a yes.
That's awesome. It's
Who's
the
Maria?
screen.
It's this COVID hairstyle, Maria. I mean, how's it looking?
Question.
John's pretty far away though.
I am. I can.
Big or smaller at the end of this?
Smaller.
I credit my wife's Dell
Overall
HD
smaller?
camera.
Not a lot smaller, though.
I don't think it's gonna be any different.
Not a lot smaller. But there'll be some. Every business has a bell curve, where there are some folks that were struggling even before this, and they're the ones that are susceptible, and then the ones that didn't innovate fast enough, the ones that didn't have their supply chain ready, the ones that didn't have their contracts in order, and the ones that are carrying a lot of debt. I mean, those are your formula for most businesses, but right now, the alcohol business is not doing that terribly bad if you were able to respond to this and you have a product that the market wants. So I think everyone around the horn here probably qualifies for, business is doing okay. And, I don't expect anybody in this panel to go anywhere when this is done.
But how do you actually prepare for this?
Prepare for what?
I mean, how do you prepare for this? Like one day we were just closed. Like it's not like you really had any time to prepare. I mean, I was in Guatemala the week before. Like, prepare to not have any business. Like,
I don't think there was any preparing for it, but
we've been able to go quick. We've been able to figure it out. But
that was the key. That's the key.
Some people haven't.
Well, we also have a lot smaller ships to turn.
Mm-hmm.
We can we went from speculation, but business as usual, to a takeout food model, which is completely different and also a big pain in the ass.
Sure.
But we were happy to do it. And then to a delivery only model, which was not nearly as tough as going to a takeout model. But like when you're an enormous, large brewery, can you change that quickly? No.
They're the ones that are in trouble. You're right, Dylan. They're the ones that I heard from somebody at we'll just say a very, very large brewery up north, and they're feeling it because they can't move as quickly as an East Branch or a Locust Lane or a Levante or something like that. So that's to our advantage to a certain degree. But yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. And then being able to support overhead with an adjusted business, like if your overhead is absolutely enormous.
Agreed.
Like, how can you change that into a couple people delivering beer? Like,
agreed.
Yep.
It's a nightmare.
So then you jump in and do it yourself. Unfortunately, that's what we're doing, right? Put about 1,500 miles on my truck in the last week, I think.
I don't know.
Lisa's down the tube.
To tell you the truth, like
they're gonna tell me to keep it.
Compared to everybody else right now, I'm living like a relatively stress-free life. Like I'm worried about business and work and all that and everything else that's happening. But like compared to what other people have going on,
Yeah.
I show up to work, I say good morning to Gov, and then I drive around all day and give people beer. And I don't think people have been ever so excited to get beer before.
Yeah, dude.
People are
That's awesome.
fucking pumped.
Mhm.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom, who's delivering for you? You guys doing it yourself?
We're doing ourselves, yeah, but we're probably like 70-80% pickup. People like getting out of the house and driving over and picking up. So the vast majority's pickup and not delivery.
Guess you reminded me of something. This might be a cool thing for the audience and you guys, but guess who rolled through the Levante today? It was a nice surprise. Brent Selleck.
Oh, cool.
Really?
That's
He lives
cool.
out that way?
He lives in Westchester with his wife, and he rolled through the. We set up a drive-through type of apparatus on Saturdays and Sundays with the alleyway that we have, and he rolled through, and I think
cool.
I wish I had been there, but I heard about it. The guys were really excited. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Brent Selleck.
Yeah, cool. People are like getting out of the house though. I mean, people are just dying to get out and do something. So
yeah,
that's what's worked for us so far.
Cool.
And no one really knows what to do when they get out of the house either.
No.
Like they don't know where they are. They don't know their names. They don't know the color car they have. They don't know anything. It's completely, people have lost their minds.
What do I do with my hands?
What exactly? Everyone's just completely frozen. Yes.
It's a great mix.
You do, Evan.
Yes.
I'm saying optional.
Some do both.
Yeah, a lot of them. I think those are doing both.
I mean, we were doing delivery over a year ago, so that helped us a little bit logistically to be able to turn around. But curbside is new. But to Tom's point, curbside is probably at least 50-60% of the business right now, and the rest is statewide delivery and cans.
Yeah, I would jump in and say the delivery only thing for us was more so just to control the overhead too, because to have folks just sitting there waiting and paying them by the hour to come, while it might be reasonable, if no one comes that day, then it's shot. So immediately we went the delivery only route because we can really control those expenses.
Yeah.
And truly,
it's a business decision. What are you talking about? Business decision?
Crazy.
What's this cost stuff?
Like our safety was a big thing for us.
You wing it, Brett. Just kidding.
Yeah. You hope and pray and
Kidding, Brett. Study.
I'm on to
research.
The clear beer. Cheer.
Book.
Oh yeah, Kev. Unbelievable.
Research.
Hey, Gov's mic is on. Did you guys know that?
I just could never say it as eloquently as all you guys. So
eloquent, I am not.
Yeah, 0.
Yoda, you are.
I had to recharge my laptop. Sorry, guys.
And put on some more clothes. Looks like.
And put on a hoodie.
Chilly.
I think crowler cans, Andy. Cans are the hardest. The blanks, they're tough.
Definitely.
32-ounce crowler cans. 12 and 16-ounce cans. That's what I'm seeing most of the brewers trying to struggle with right now, and we're trying to help each other out. There's a breweries in PA owners group that a lot of folks are asking for help when it comes to blank crowler cans, especially because that's the main format right now. To go. So yeah, those are the ones that we're seeing. Aluminum is tough.
Or aluminium, depending on where you're from.
Yeah.
Oh,
nice.
You like that?
Roll.
Cheers.
Yeah, right.
No, but everything else ingredient wise is fine. I haven't seen any problem with malt, hops, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm
just afraid to sign for it now, which is different than before.
Just wave.
Could you make it look like this? Could you just write it yourself?
Most of our deliveries, they don't even there's no receipt or no nothing. They just drop it off and wave and drive away. So it's a good thing.
Sometimes, Brett. Sometimes, but not all.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually not.
If there's a lot of hops in it, you can just make it. It'll probably be fine. It's the other stuff you might have to worry about.
Yeah, you just rename it.
Yeah, exactly. Rebrand that sucker.
Brett, if we never made it, we will do a 3-barrel batch of it. But our New England stuff, things that are kind of in our wheelhouse, you can adapt those recipes, and it's pretty safe. You're gonna put out something good.
I think it's cool that the questions pop up on the bottom.
It is. It's neat.
Nice.
I'm getting used to this. I like this.
It is cool.
setup.
The two hosts got it easy. They're not even
Hi,
here.
Kevin.
Hey, Basil.
Do something fun. Say
Good job
something
today.
Here you go. This is fun for you, pal. Everybody knows what that looks like.
Not fun at all.
I'm gonna inject some Lysol. Hold on a second.
Dylan, are you wearing a scarf, Dylan? You're nice.
He has it on all the time.
I'm part
Technical
bandit.
Bill.
That's
We
fun.
should have done
What's up, Buddha?
We should have done them.
I love it.
Yeah. You got Jedi Baz down there on the left.
Hey, it got a little chilly real quick. I thought it was a good scenery, but it got a little nipply.
You're the scenery. You don't need anything in the background.
That's right.
I think this is the question everybody's been waiting for.
There it is, guys.
Ah, hate it.
There it is.
Ooh,
Rabbit hole.
This could be a whole nother episode right here.
Yeah, you
Rabbit.
got time for this?
I just
Rabbit
need to
hole.
keep track of what I've had.
I think this is actually what Bad Beer, Higher Prices. I think this is what their podcast is all about. I think they covered everything.
Oh yeah.
They nail
Oh
it.
yeah.
Really nail it. I would say my thoughts right off the top of the head, you got it in thirds. You got folks that are actually utilizing the tool the way that you should be. You're rating beers true to styles and appropriately. You have the other third that's, that 1/3's uncles or dads that are just getting into it. And then you have the other third who just is just erroneous. For example, Baz, if you remember, our IPA was too IPA for him.
It was too hoppy. Yeah.
Yes.
Hate when it happens.
Yes.
What does that mean?
The bottom third have no fucking idea what they're talking about.
That's it.
It is brutal.
All I'm asking is do a little research on beer styles before you rate people's life work, and it's as simple as that. That's all it is.
Well
I'm giving it a 0.25. I don't really like that style. Okay, great. Then don't freaking rate it, Dickie.
Yeah.
Right. I bought a sour. But I don't like sours, but I bought a sour, and I'm going to give it a point star.
Man.
That's my favorite one. You want to piss off a
Oh God!
and you're on checking. Yeah.
Oh man!
Somebody worked their ass off to brew a beer, and you're like,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a dick punch.
And like Kevin said, it's some people just use it to track what they drank, and that's fine.
No, that's what
Some
everybody
people
says.
actually, and some people are into the beer culture, and they give it a good, honest opinion. And then some people just don't. They don't even know what they're drinking, and they rate it accordingly because they're not sure. And then it's,
It's a data point for us.
Yeah, John's back.
You're back. Your thoughts on Untapped, John? Go.
Oh, don't even get me started. It's completely insane. You gotta be kidding. You know what? It's too fucking hoppy. I don't like hops.
This sour's too sour.
Too sorry.
Uh,
I think that's the truth is that it's somebody's life's work. Like it's somebody's livelihood, and that's what makes it not okay. Like it's one thing rating a YouTube video, like however, because you're an idiot and you don't like movies, you watched a movie and you're unhappy with how it. Yeah.
Right.
Man.
And, like, you're fucking with somebody's business. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like.
And what other platforms can you literally rate any, like, what rest, like besides Yelp, what can you do for any kind of, like, getting a haircut or getting an oil change or anything
there
like
you go.
that?
That's right there. Yelp, right there. Talking about right at the bottom from K. But Yelp
Yeah,
just as
so
bad. That's an extortionist scheme in and of itself where they, they call you. All of a sudden there's a couple of bad ratings. They give you a call. Hey, we can get rid of those for you. And you say no or don't answer the phone call and a couple more pop up. And then they call you again.
Yeah. Is this a credit company? Get rid of it. What do you?
I've never heard of that. It's news to me. I don't know.
I think Yelp.
I'd rather you light us up on Untapped than hurt us on Yelp or Google reviews or something like that. You know, if you have a bad experience, I would ask from any small business that you go home and kind of reconcile that with yourself and give them another shot, maybe 2 more shots. And if after 3 attempts in a small business, you've had 3 bad experiences, you've triangulated something, and you can go and punch them. But to have 1 bad experience and then light a small company up you're not helping anybody. And it's cool.
You can right on cue, John.
What are you doing? Which is worse, Untapped or Yelp? Well, they both have their.
All I'm going to say is Untapped doesn't call me 5 times a week.
Yeah.
That's true.
So you got that going for you.
Fuck Yelp. Yelp is a terrible business. A terrible business.
I'm going to go with
Yelp is bad.
I'm going to go with Untapped being worse because of the impact it has in our realm, right? So if you get a couple beers that are rated a little bit below average, it impacts distribution, which I don't think a lot of Untappers even realize. That bars, before they even buy a beer, they're checking the Untapped rating. And who's that throwing out that? What was that again?
Funny.
I don't know.
Is it illegal or just frowned upon to rate a beer on Untapped at a specific site?
Asking for a friend. Okay, Maria.
Well,
I don't think it matters either way. You had the beer yesterday, just rating it today.
That's funny. Good stuff.
By the way, Jay-Z, I want to hang out with you. Looks like you're still at the brewery.
There's nothing going on. There's plenty of space to be 6 feet. You
need more wood? I got some wood.
I bet you got some wood.
I have a tough question.
Not in this kind of forum, all right?
I have a tough question. I think it's going to be too long to type it, so I'm going to hop in quick, and then I'll let Jim come back in. I'm just going to keep rotating you guys.
What's up, John?
I took Dove out for a minute and let Kevin in. What's up, Kev? All right, so there was a really interesting post that I shared earlier this week that talked about the demand of craft beer over the past few years has allowed the prices of 4-packs and 6-packs to go up. There's $25, $30 4-packs. That's not everybody's brewery, but is that more because of demand, or is that more because of the actual cost to go into it being a small business and everything that you guys have to do with your canning lines, production, overhead, things like that?
Can I start?
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't have 4-packs that expensive, but I don't think the consumer understands that sometimes that's a realistic price for beers, because hops are so goddamn expensive. And when you dump tons and tons and tons of hops into a beer, and then on top of that get a really low yield, maybe unexpected low yield, sometimes it just costs what it costs.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, don't buy it. Buy something else.
Mm-hmm.
We've really started diving down into our cost of operations and what everything costs, labor, building. Like, it's expensive. It's freaking expensive. Like, we just bleed money not bleed, but we spend tons of money. And when you see a beer that has like Galaxy in it, that's $37 a pound or $36 a pound. Like, guess what? I love Galaxy. It's a delicious hop, but it's expensive. It's going to cost more money. There's just the Mosaic, the Citra, like all those hops are insanely expensive. So if you love those hops, they come with a price. I can brew a Cascade beer at a fraction of the cost of the Mosaic.
Just use Centennial.
It's delicious. I love Cascade. I hate saying that. Cascade is freaking ridiculously delicious.
I love Cascade too.
Kids love the juice, though. They want the juice. You gotta give them the juice. They love juice.
It's funny.
So, John, what are you trying to say?
I think people like juice. Pretty simple. juice. Give them juice.
Wait, what was the question?
I don't even think there's a question involved there.
Yeah.
All right, so
I do need to hang, Baz. Baz, we got to hang. I got room here. Look, plenty of space.
I'm
yeah, you
coming.
guys could have done 6 foot apart over there.
I'm coming.
100%.
All right, so here's part 2 of that question is with demand being down, I've seen articles pop up online that say breweries are going to have to dump kegs and dump beer out just because they can't move it. Victory is selling $3 crowlers. That doesn't work for everybody, for every size brewery. How are you guys managing the demand dropping and being able to, are you guys still producing? Are you going to have to dump anything? You know, how are you guys managing this flow and this change in demand?
I'll go real quick. I think brewing overall slowed down, obviously. So what we have in kegs, we are pushing, you know, crowlers and growlers as best we can for delivery. And then, you know, it took a couple weeks to kind of look at the production schedule to see just how much we could brew, which we're now focusing on canning everything and kegging a few just for backup for whenever we might magically open up again. So for us being a smaller scale brewery, I think it's not too much of an issue. I'm going to be pushing some beer back into bright tanks or uni tanks just to look at canning them. Yep. But I just basically slowed down brewing and then re-looked at what we wanted to brew and then planned that out. And we're ready to rock with just canning everything that we brew until this thing blows over. So for a smaller scale, I'm not dumping anything.
No.
I doubt it. Kind of same with us. The same deal with us. Like we have some stuff in kegs, but you know, we'll run out of the cans that we had. Like our Fluffy Sunshine we got some kegs in the back ready to go for crowlers when the cans run out. So we'll push everything out in the crowlers. That's a good idea. Like Ironheart sent that thing out, the mobile canner sent the thing out saying, hey, if you have stuff in kegs, we can can off a keg, but it's not a good idea. Just push it back into a tank. And, you know, I worry about oxygen pickup and how long it's going to last, but maybe it's better than nothing. But yeah, I'm with you. Like we don't have that big of a stockpile of inventory of kegs, but I know our distributor, I was talking to him the other day and he said that Coors was buying back all their kegs from them. And I'm sure they're just being dumped under. So big guys are going to be dumping a lot, but us, like, you know, for 5 kegs, I'm not dumping 5 kegs. Like, you know, yeah, you could do that. Yeah, exactly.
On the other side of that coin is we have a lot of kegs out there in the world at bars and restaurants that are completely closed.
Those I'm worried about.
I'm not. Yeah, I want to get my kegs back or replace them, or I don't.
Right.
I don't want them reopening and serving a
what are we going to do about that?
Yeah, it's a great question.
I'm gonna go get them.
Yeah, do you know where they are? Is the problem? Like that's gonna be my problem. I don't know where they are exactly.
Yeah.
This IPA tastes like an amber. It's odd.
Yeah. Right.
1 star.
Wait till we see the untapped. Yeah, the untapped ratings on that.
One fifth of a star. Man.
Yeah.
This tastes like popcorn butter.
And it's not going to be the bar's fault for holding on to it too long, right? It's going to be the brewery's fault. It's our fault.
Right.
We screwed it up. Made a bad beer 8 months ago that they held on to, and
if we could do it financially, I would love to replace everything that's out there, but I don't know if that's feasible.
Yeah.
But that would be, in an ideal world, that would be the best scenario.
Yeah.
Everybody's so happy to be out and about, they're not going to care.
That too. So we can just all roll the dice and not worry about it.
Do you have any more? Less downtime now? What are you doing now? I would say less, and hobbies are pretty much not existent anymore.
Your hobby's making beer. Yeah, making beer. That's your hobby.
I started doing crochet.
Oh, John.
I'm looking forward to Christmas then, John.
Yeah.
Did you crochet that knee brace?
Everyone is going to get a scarf.
Rich, you're so funny, Rich. Yes, that's my last name. You're so funny, man. Cheers, buddy. I miss you, man. Let's see. You all watched that show, Brew Brothers, and how much did you hate it? I never watched it.
That's on my Netflix watch list. I got to see that one. I saw that.
What is
I
it?
haven't seen it.
So I actually have watched a handful of episodes now. It's on Netflix, and it's about these two brothers. One of them opens up a brewery outside of L.A. In the Van Nuys neighborhood, and his brother is like a complete over-the-top beer snob that comes in to help him run his brewery, and the two of them go at it. So it's not great. It's not incredible production and acting and things like that, but I think it's funny as hell. And there are, beer references and things. You can tell that they definitely know what they're talking about as far as styles and things like that. They're not too far off. There's always issues with the food truck, things like that. So it's definitely something.
Always issues with the food truck.
I'd love you guys all to check it out and circle back and maybe talk about it.
What's the name of the brewery?
Rodman Brothers or Rodman Brewing, something like that.
Was it a brewery that opened just for the show, or
probably?
No, it's not a documentary. It's a written comedy.
Can we do a watch party?
Oh, it's. I thought it was a reality show.
Watch party, man! Come on, we can all hang out, watch it on internet.
Not a bad idea. We could probably figure that out.
Watch it on internet.
On the great wide web.
On the interweb.
The World Wide Web.
I'm telling you, we could be on camera watching it together. People are doing these things.
That'd be great.
It's crazy.
Hey, they should bring back drive-in
All
theater.
right, Gallagher.
Ooh, penis jokes.
Gallagher. Oh boy.
0.25 on that test.
Mm-hmm.
Someone got paid for the extra subscription.
The question we get the most is when we add the alcohol. When do you add the alcohol into the beer? And it's kind of near the end. I let everybody know. It's near the end of the process we put in. So, yeah. We use some beer, too. We add some beer to our beer sometimes, but not all the time. So,
on the vein of funny FAQs, we get all the time in our brewery, and I don't know if you've been in the space, but it's one gigantic room, and it's an old auto body shop, and the brew house is right there, and then it's divided by a wall, the bar.
Do you make beer here?
Make the beer here?
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
No, that's actually a poster cut out, and it's just all show.
So I got the quick funny story. We were at we did the what was it? The Brotherly Suds. We Bill had a little meeting over at Victory, and was kind of getting everybody the recipe and talking about the yeast used was some, I can't remember what brewery it was from, but this old gentleman talked about the yeast and whatever. And I asked Bill if I could get some of that yeast to make, can I pull some of the yeast from your fermenter? So he, I went over to Downingtown, pulled the yeast out, bottom of the fermenter. I'm walking out with like a keg over my shoulder at her Victory Downingtown. This lady pulls up next to me. She's like, "Wait, you're from Locust Lane?" I got a shirt on. I'm like, "Yeah." She said, "Well, wait, do you get your beer here?" And I'm like, no. And I had to tell her the story, but the lady literally thought I was walking out of Victory with a keg over my shoulder to go sell it at our brewery under our name. Like, oh man. It's like, I know your guys' stuff, it's good, but I'm like, yeah, that's weird. Anyway.
It's actually a genius idea. We can just buy the beer from them and can it and make some money.
Yeah.
$3 a crowler, John.
$3.
Somebody asked.
I can't even make it at that.
Somebody asked, "What's the biggest catastrophe that happened at the brewery?"
I opened.
I wrote my business plan, yeah, and it was wrong.
We allowed dogs on the outside, and we had a dog fight our first year that we were open, and it was the only one we had, and it was not a good scene. But that was one catastrophe. But the better one is when we were making an IPA, and we dumped too much grain in it by accident. So now we knew it was going to be a double, And so we took random hops, about 8 of them, and threw them in at different times, and out came Panic Room. That double IPA we used.
I love that beer.
You guys know Phil Murphy? Phil Murphy was one of the chief architects of that one. So
right. Phil and I get back to Dougal's day.
That's where it got the name. It was Panic when we were 4 or 5 months old, and it was that was a catastrophe, a happy little accident.
Gov, you could probably speak to this. Sometimes I like to count to 3 before I take a valve off, and sometimes you take the wrong valve off.
Oh, geez!
And you open up a tank full flow, and it just pushes you all the way back, and then you got to try to rush in and put it back on. So that's a small catastrophe, but one of the things that happens.
Well, Jay-Z had the dry hop incident. That was all.
That was
Dude, that was insane.
What y'all don't know is that was all staged for the social
For the interwebbing.
It never happened.
Never happened.
Never happened.
Was it all Cascade?
It was all, luckily, it was all Cascade and Galena.
Too funny.
Galena.
Yeah, dry hop with Galena.
Who doesn't do that?
Where's it happen at our place? I got some caustic in my eye. Anybody get caustic in their eye? Pure caustic. Yeah. That was a fun day.
Yes.
We've had that.
We froze our chiller on startup. That was fun. We followed the manufacturer's directions, the 2-to-1, ratio for our glycol, etc. And froze it in an instant.
2 parts
about
water.
36
It worked well.
What's that, John?
2 parts water.
They say 2-to-1, but it's no the man. Yeah, we called the glycol people. Are like, nah, never. You never. No one ever does that.
Never once ever.
Right.
That should ever happen.
We didn't break anything, so that was good. No one got hurt.
What's your favorite beer to brew?
The fast ones.
I like the easy one. I was gonna say exactly the same thing.
The less hoppy ones.
The Kolsch's, the amber lagers in our place, the stuff that's like light and easy, and yeah, they're the
Makes
ones.
for a nice easy day.
Wait, I still love brewing the beers that you throw buttloads of hops in. I love those beers. Dump them in. It's the best.
You have fun with that?
I do.
Awesome. No, I
The
find
ones that I play, it's like I don't really get much of it. Yeah, I mean, when you start just dumping lots of ingredients in.
Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah, the interactive part of that is definitely fun. But as far as the overall workload day,
Workloads. Well, first of all, I don't.
The less
do
hoppy, the
anything.
better.
Yeah, John's not even brewing.
I don't do anything. I sit here, I burn fires. Other people are doing things. I have a whole house that's operating. I'm just hanging out, drinking beer, talking to you.
John's on the 3 Ds of management. You know 3 Ds of management?
No.
Decide, delegate, disappear.
I'm a figurehead at this point. I'm a mascot. I'm basically a mascot. That's it. That's all I do. Mascot.
Well, here's a good follow-up question.
What's the pain in the ass, Baz? Which one?
Believe it or not, our Hilltop, our Saison.
4 grain, baby.
Yeah, just all them grains. It boils over every time. And I've done lesser volume, lower heat, or whatnot, but something about all that mix of 4 grains, it just pain in the ass.
Anything with
that number 4 seller.
and it's our
top 5.
It's top 5, so it's
that's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that's sticky, a lot of oats. I hate those. Getting them out of the mash tun.
Yeah. It never dries out, no matter how much you let it.
Which one is the mash tun?
Yeah. The one on the left, John. The one on the left. Maybe the right. I don't know. Maybe the right. I don't know.
Ours is the right. It's a reverse system.
Ask Chris. Oh, it's European.
Yeah.
Mm.
What's up, Lauren?
Yeah.
What's up, Lauren?
Hey, what's up, Lar?
Good to see you in the desert. Whatever that picture is.
Fad. They're never going.
They'll stick around.
Yeah, they're not going away.
Not a fad anymore. Style.
Yeah, it's a new style.
How do I personally feel about them? They're a bit much for me because I have acid reflux, so I've gravitated back towards the pilsners and the lighter affair, like this beauty right here from East Branch. But it's all relative. It's a choice. I like them. They're a lot.
I wouldn't call it a fad at this point. They're not going anywhere.
It's a beer.
Yeah, it's a beer. It's another style.
No, it's recognized now, so it'll be here forever.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, people just walk in. What do you have that's cloudy? Even like older people. What do you have that's like a hazy, cloudy thing?
My brain.
Yeah. Or what do you have that's like Coors Light? What's like Coors Light? Nothing. Somebody's made a surprise to you.
No.
It's not a surprise, but I think right now people want to crush a lot of stuff. So they want lower ABV, sessionable beers. They're not. I mean, it's not like everyone's looking for those, but those are volume sellers. It's a affordable beer, and you can just crush them all day long. And that's what we're seeing.
Dylan's back.
I feel like we keep getting voted off the island. This is just like weird.
There's only 6 panes, John. 6 panes.
And there goes John. He's gone.
That was it. Turn it off. You're back.
Yeah, you're back.
Sorry.
John finally starts talking, and then they vote him off the island.
Yeah, that's what you get when you have a free plan.
I know.
I will say this. I won't call it a beer, but I'm still surprised by the whole seltzer thing.
The whole what?
Seltzer. The seltzers.
Oh, yeah.
They're not beers, in my opinion, but they're, I'm surprised that
because they're not.
They do as well.
They're not beers.
Yeah.
We sell
People might call them that.
We're selling a lot of seltzers. I don't know why, but we sell a lot of it.
Because they're tasty, and because besides the people that want to ingest beers with a ton of maltodextrin and lactose, and they don't care, there's the other side of people that are health conscious and want something that's 100 calories and 4 carbs and tastes really good, and so seltzers, that's the niche that seltzers have fulfilled, and they're getting more and more popular. So yeah, it's a thing. I mean, it's not a beer, but it's a thing.
I can't get drunk drinking them. I don't get it.
And I'm sure you've tried though, right?
I have to drink. I do. I really do. In all earnest, try.
Not from a lack of trying.
I just can't drink that much liquid to do it.
Yeah. That's age though, buddy. Sorry to tell you.
Oh, stop.
I could drink a lot more 20 years ago.
Stop. What do you mean?
I could drink a lot more. I could just fit more in my belly somehow 20 years ago. Now I can't. Just can't.
I think the low-cal beers are going to come back into force and give the seltzers a run for their money.
And I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
Yes. The 3% hoppies will make a run for their money.
It's going to be the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to make a 4% hoppy type brute here soon to kind of meet a little bit after the summer, see how it goes for the summer. Who knows how long it'll last, but it's a world right now. But yeah, we're going to give it a shot and see how it goes.
We do real well in our slow session.
Yeah. Also, if you adapt.
I would say what we've been saying, take out delivery options, changing it up. The taproom scene's obviously changed significantly, but what we're looking at now anyway is, all right, what's the long term of this? And being able to adapt to this being a more of a norm for the whole operation as a whole, and how do we continue to grow a business under these circumstances? It's crazy.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm so curious how long this whole model is going to last.
Yeah, well, it's interesting to think about when things supposedly come back to whatever normal ends up being, what things are going to look like.
Yeah.
Yep. This
Whether
is the
it's-
new normal, Dylan.
Hmm.
That's on the
Is it?
computer
This
screen.
isn't
Did you just make that up?
I did. Dude. It's pretty deep.
Pretty good.
I think
Yeah.
I haven't done this, but I think that if you study the pandemic of the Spanish flu in 1917, and then if there were observations after 1917 and in 1918, you can get a glimpse of how people came back to things. They came back. When did it happen? We don't know. I think from Levante's perspective, we have to get ready for more of a contactless, taproom experience, and we're going to back into this. I mean, it happened immediately to all of us. Our choice is that when taprooms are allowed to open, we're going to walk back very gracefully. We're not going to open stables and have 500 people rush the outside if it's a nice day. That's just irresponsible.
They're not going to let you anyway.
We have.
We've never had 500 people here. What the?
Well, I mean, it's a beer garden. We're just saying that.
They're not going to let you.
Stables would have to be an indoor place for a while.
Yeah.
The social optics would be terrible.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the first person that has a COVID-19, welcome back party. You don't want to do it, guys.
No.
I'm not.
No.
Really? We already got ours in the works.
Yeah.
That's our next beer coming out. We have that beer coming out next week.
I think so. To answer that question, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be different.
I think
it depends on the space.
Yeah, I think what James said is it's going to be all contactless. Whatever we could do to just let people come in, get a beer, and just not interact with any kind of cards or swipe or cash, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That'll be it. And then whatever space we have, we're just going to blow it out. Just put a table in every square inch of your building that could just spread everyone out. Let them feel comfortable.
They're gonna take whatever your capacity is, cut it in half. They're gonna say how many tables you have, cut them in half. There's gonna be no bar seating for a while, or 10-foot spacing, which just means no bar seating.
Yeah, we have communal tables. Like, how's that gonna work?
Yeah, I mean, if you have booths, it's gonna be every other booth. It's gonna be a mess for a while.
One of the things that we might want to consider, and it just popped up in my head, is and you've probably seen this with larger events. Maybe people can come in and purchase online a certain amount of beer credits, and therefore there's no cash going back and forth. Way to debit some kind of open account like that. So, but I mean, there's a lot of ways. We'll figure it out. But I like what Baz said. You don't want dollars back and forth. You don't want to be taking people's credit cards. You just even if it's proven that is not a way to get coronavirus, the American psyche is forever changed for a while. It's going to take a long time until there's a vaccine and there's a lot of reconditioning and people feel safe again. This is not an instant go back to normal type of scenario. That's one guy's opinion, but
yeah, I think we go old school and just basically just have tabs for everybody, and just set up your tab at some point, and we'll be good.
Yeah, even so, you're still not gonna have that many people in your place, no matter what. They're not gonna let you. Everybody's gonna be too close to each other. It's not gonna. Yeah. So, best things you're gonna do, you're gonna have a drive-in, have a beer drive-in. People are gonna come do a curbside pickup, and then go to the other side of the parking lot and do whatever they want with their beer, and then sit there,
come up to the second floor.
Yeah. Just sit there in their car and listen to some music and talk to the guy next to him.
Get that roof open, Dylan.
Yeah. Call it tailgate. That sounds bad.
Exactly.
I got a good deal on some tigers, and we're gonna build some cages back here.
John, you look like you're right on par with that.
Like, want to come upstairs and
we're actually gonna have like a feeding zoo. We're gonna give little like niblets and let the kids feed the tigers,
Good
It's gonna be
idea.
awesome.
Awesome.
No, actually, you know what? One of the weird things we've started to think about here, like in all seriousness, is like we're getting rid of our games. We're done.
Oh yeah.
We're done
Yeah.
with games and stuff people are handling. It's done. Like that whole like, hey, let's come and play fucking Jenga here is done. We're like getting rid of games. We're getting rid of board games. People used to love them, but like people can still bring their own games that are clean. But like I have a festering pod of games up in the game area that we're just done with. Can I buy Golden Tea? That we don't own Golden Tea. But
Throw
I can
them in your
get in
fire pit
contact
right
with the
now.
guy. I don't know what to do. I mean, the whole scenario is super strange to be an opening in a social pub where people can't be social.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's contrary.
And the things that we used to take for granted are really gone. Like, I'm not going to shake your guys' hands. Sorry. Maybe
Dude, I miss shaking hands. I miss hugging people.
Yeah.
I don't know where your hands have been.
I'm a
If you
hugger.
wash your hands in the bathroom.
You didn't know where they were before.
You have no
I don't
idea.
care.
I'm not doing it. I'm done. No more handshaking, just so every one of you know out there.
I've been fucking with people, and when I see them, I'm like, come here, let give me a hug.
Come
Come
here.
here. Ah, come on, let me get my hands on ya.
It's
Just kidding.
done. Yeah.
I miss hugging people. I
It's
miss
weird.
shaking
It's
hands
just
with people. I'm
Yeah.
the kind of guy that like when I see somebody, if I don't know them, I like pat them on the shoulder. I need to touch
Yeah.
people.
I'm a big hugger. I'm a big hugger.
I'll still take a hug. I'm just going to put that on the record. I will totally take a hug. But the whole handshake thing I feel is weird.
I'm not going to hug you.
Hug's good.
Like elbow shaking now. It's like
I'm just putting it out there. All right, guys. All right.
All
We
right.
need to know where our boundaries are.
I need to find where my boundaries are.
The answer here, I think, from our perspective, as quick as your outdoor area, it's going to be all the same, really. It's
Yeah.
going to be
Still can be
Gonna be
close
all
to
the
each
same.
other. Yeah.
And we're like class in the phase 2, I do believe, of this whole
We're phase 3.
re-entry. Are we? We bumped down to phase 3 now.
Yeah, too close to each other. Like bars and restaurants are phase 3, and we're considered that, I think.
We're out there. High
Yeah.
risk. It's gonna be a while.
Yep.
within
Yep.
Good one.
Look, I got the fire going. The whole pit's going. I mean, I'm just waiting for people to show up.
Where's everybody at?
I don't know where everyone's at. It's Saturday. Is it Saturday?
Why is this taking so
Saturday?
long?
It's Saturday, right?
I'm pretty
we usually
sure.
have people here by now. I was waiting for the whole gang to come. It was going to be awesome. But
You
no one
forgot the
showed up.
Tigers. You got to get the Tigers. That'll make the difference.
Oh no, they're over there. I got them a couple weeks ago. There was a good sale, so they're off to the
John,
side.
do you really have tigers?
I'm waiting for
I
one to
just
walk
didn't want
by.
to be a bragger. I just didn't want to brag about the Tigers. That
I want to see them.
what fires and moves
All right,
and-
This is a good one.
not really.
I can't comment on that because we have a beer called Tickle Bar. So next,
As far as the name of your beers, yeah.
God's here.
From us, it comes from everywhere. I mean, it might be.
Does your stuff not work?
What's your computers and stuff?
Your mic doesn't work. Can you hear what we're saying?
Are you guys talking to me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was backstage when I was trying to put on a dead show.
It's like 15 minutes. I thought you were frozen.
No.
It's a good one.
beer.
Dylan's not moving.
What's up, Steve?
Two beer, Prima Pills.
Steve, I'm crushing brown ice pills in $3 growlers lately.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
It's
crushing.
called gin. I like gin.
Nice. But now that I know that Dylan and Dove are personally delivering beer, I'm going to be switching up to their stuff and have them come by the house. I'm looking for that.
I'm not gonna lie. To answer the question right now, this is my go-to. And
Right on.
the boys that are online can test. I'm not
Much longer.
flying a flag for no reason, baby. This thing it's right on the money. It's right on the money.
Good job.
I found a really nice. Well, actually, my lovely girlfriend found this. I guess they call them shelf turds these days.
I heard that one's
Look at
good.
that
I heard that's
turd.
good.
This
It's like
beer is
4
always
stars
the
on
go-to.
tap. Yeah, it's good.
Classic.
Good stuff.
I actually went to the grocery store to buy some wine for my lady and saw the Yingling Pilsner and bought a
It's good,
12-pack of it.
It's tasty.
Seriously?
Good.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm gonna check in real quick. We hit the 1 hour mark. Does anybody need to go take care of kids or anything like that? Or do you want to keep rolling? We're gonna keep it going for another hour. If anybody needs to roll out, let me know.
I'm gonna take a break.
Dylan's out.
He said, "Roll on."
John's gonna go jump in the fire.
I'm just waiting for John to get mauled by a tiger right now. Nope, it didn't happen.
The tigers are in cages, all right? We kept cages for the tigers.
I thought you said you didn't see it.
No, I mean, they're not in cages. I don't have them.
John is the Tiger King.
There it is. It's officially come out. Andy.
They're hazy. The kids
hey, Andy.
Oh, hey, Andy.
Classy.
Done with an elbow bump. Right back at you, Andy.
Put them up.
Dill dog. I love that.
That's
Yeah, that's a good question. I was wondering that.
It's a great question. You can purchase just about all of our stuff through the website, and that handsome young man will bring it to you in due time, which is pretty quick.
Why does my head have a big?
Slide
Does that hurt?
Slide over,
Hey,
John.
John.
Are you sponsoring them now or what?
That's pretty funny.
That's perfect.
Fuck you! You can't, you don't even know who's talking right now.
There you go. So Jackson's being himself. Come back.
He got kicked off the island.
Oh, that's hilarious.
John got good. Dill dog coming in.
That's funny.
Let's keep magic. There's a lot of magic in this building. Some people say it's haunted. I just say it's magic. We don't
Well
trust
said.
it.
I think you have a whole bunch of pint glasses lined up.
Look, you don't have a tower, a lookout tower, and a ladder that fucking old and not be haunted by something. Okay, I'm just saying.
Kev looks like he's working an air traffic control job.
Yeah.
The flight 93 you're gonna want to go ahead and back at. We got from Brewer. Gonna re-ration now, and you're clear to go. Thanks.
You gotta say over.
Yeah.
Over.
Fortnite.
That was awesome.
That's what dual monitors are for.
Oh.
Adapted your marketing for COVID. We just kept doing the same thing. Just maybe more of it online, but same thing. Don't stop.
And changing anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all the same.
If anything, yeah, just rotate the stuff that people are actually looking at instead. We had actually just signed up to be part of like a magazine in hotels and stuff, and I'm like, well, that's that was a good choice in hindsight, right?
We got a couple of those things too. Yep.
Yeah. What do you do, right? But
One of the things we did marketing wise is we never mentioned the word COVID or virus or anything like that. I think we wanted to keep it business as normal, and if the new normal is this, we just didn't mention anything about it because everyone knows what's going on unless you're an idiot.
Unless
you need a haircut.
Smart.
Yeah.
Cheers. That's good. Good stuff.
It is because people. It's a stressful situation. Even the word itself brings out stress immediately. So
Yeah.
it's kind of just shifted, and that's the one thing to answer the question as well. Try to make it light, funny, humorous, distracting at the very least. If anything else, if people don't, if there's anything people need right now, it's a distraction from the current state.
I've noticed people that like have this almost like sorrowful tone with their posts, and I'm like, everybody knows this trying time. Like everybody knows. Like
We're all doing it.
Like we've tried to have this approach of like, hey man, chill out, we'll bring you beer.
Yep.
You don't have to touch me.
Yep.
Yep.
You don't have to
You
touch
owe me a kiss.
Unless you won. Yeah.
You owe me a kiss next time.
But when this thing clears up, you better be ready for help.
That's like that, Taylor. You too, man.
Thanks, Taylor.
My man.
Here we go.
No comment.
Ball.
I think you have to ask Carson Wentz that.
But I mean, the Eagles don't have a backup, so
I was gonna say, why not? Why not?
They need one every year, so.
Because you can get one in free agency that can come in and actually be able to produce. So now you've got you got a rookie kid coming in. You blew your 52nd or 53rd pick or whatever it was, and you have needs. You got needs at safety, at corner. I mean,
all defense,
linebacker help. I don't understand this one, man.
Jim, was this your question?
No, I did not. I triggered. Damn it. So I'm very texted. Andy,
it just shows how much I know about the football draft right now. I'm like, because they needed one.
I'm salty, man. I'm salty. I don't even like that first round pick. I'm not sure. Not sure we got what we wanted there, but we'll see.
Can't hold anything back.
So I have a question.
You can play football?
Dylan,
I can get into it this year?
Dylan, real quick.
Yeah.
So,
a private line.
I mean, your first of all, your place sells some amazing food, and the locals love it. You know, me included.
Thanks.
Thank you. Was it? Can you talk about why you didn't choose to do kind of a prolonged takeout or curbside pickup for the food and the beer? I'm just curious.
How that process went of going from closing our tap room to just takeout to.
That's really what I wanted to ask right there. Very well said. Yeah, I miss brisket noodles.
So I think this whole thing was kind of like a wave, and like a lot of people were nervous at first, and
just pass, dude. I mean,
it was like every day, like every hour, we reassess everything, and it got to the point where there were so many questions and tensions were high, so we cut things off. Like we put a post out, hey, it's Sunday at 11 o'clock, like see you in an hour. We got some food, we got some beers, jamming beers, like everything's fine. And then we were like, actually, we're closed. Sorry. Honestly, like, because like minute by minute, we were figuring everything out. We decided the best thing for everybody was just for us to be closed. Tensions were too high. People were uncertain, so it wasn't worth it. Like it ended up like if we had opened, it would have been bullshit because our hearts weren't in it.
Sure.
So we closed the tap room and took some time and figured we're just going to do. We're going to run a skeleton crew and do takeout only, and then it got to the point where it was at the same point where we couldn't do it anymore because if people were coming in and we're handing off food to them, our hearts weren't in it, and it would have been bullshit. So we shut that down too.
No, I get it, man, and I appreciate your candidness. I, for one, being a downtown local, cannot wait until you guys are back at full strength, man.
Thanks, me too.
Thank you.
All of you guys. Like I go to all your places, and so sorry to take over, but I have so many questions. Kevin and Baz, what are you thinking on the June gig that you guys are throwing? Are you just kind of waiting and seeing, or
Wait until May 1 to make that final decision. But I mean, the writing's on the wall on this one, I think. I mean, case in point, we live in Downingtown, and they canceled everything for the rest of the year as far as mass gathering. So expecting a 1,000 person beer fest where they're like, here's my cup, refill it. It's just,
You don't think that's a good idea?
I think it's probably not the best idea.
Yeah, it sucks, man.
We're looking at September.
Looking at
Oh,
September.
good. Move it. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Move it to September
We're gonna
12th
keep
is the date.
Hmm?
September 12th is what we're thinking, but we'll see. Hopefully it's within this year. That'd be a fun one, though.
What do you think the next beer style crazy will be?
Hops. Hops are going to be huge.
I think IPAs are going to be a big thing.
Have you guys ever heard of them?
They're big. The West Coast loves them.
Honestly, I think low-cal beers, along with more traditional styles. I really think that's coming around.
Definitely Belgian ales will make a comeback.
Seriously?
No.
Said no one ever.
I wish they would.
Wouldn't that be
What's going
cool?
on with
That would be
Which
awesome.
beer style do you wish would come back?
You know, Andy, I think the Brute, Andy Hoffman here, I think the Brute IPA just came and went too quickly.
I agree.
There's a lot more experimentation that we can do with it, adding light fruit additives to it and just really bringing out the champagniness of it. It's light. I think Tom was saying that those guys were looking at doing something coming up, which I think is smart. It's the right time of year to do it. So that's just one that just came and left, and I don't think we really gave it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, it also it kind of fits the low carb thing too. I mean, you ferment everything out, so.
Dry,
What about
sparkly.
fast?
Sorry, Gav?
But it came and went so fast. I mean, was that because there was not a huge market for it, or
potentially, yeah.
People don't understand a lot of stuff either. I mean, they don't, people don't have time to read into it and understand what it is, but we'll see.
Right. It was big in California, wine country.
What about amber ales? No one does amber ales anymore.
We have an amber lager on all the time, John.
That's not an ale.
Alt beers, man.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. It's not.
German style alt beer is that's one that I love it. I love it. We just did one, and I know that Gov does one. I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Absolutely love them.
It's really, for the first time we did that, I had Kolsch yeast after brewing our Kolsch. It was like, what do I do with this yeast? I've got empty tanks and I got this yeast. So that's how that was born.
Solid.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did it. It's a fun style.
It's delicious.
I love it.
Still kind of hoppy.
Beer. It's a great.
Get it,
You do it warm? Pretty warm fermentation or colder?
15C. So
Okay. Yeah, whatever it is in American.
60. You didn't know that about me, John?
Put that into American for us.
No, I don't need that many digits, guys. Same with specific gravity. You can make it way easier on yourselves. Less numbers. So much easier.
It makes so much sense.
It's a lot less writing.
America first, all right?
There you go.
No, in terms of the metric system, America's last. So.
Funny.
Thank God there's Google. Thank God for Google.
Indeed.
Whoa.
I love talking to your wife. That's not a good way to start a sentence.
Wow. Thank you. Online ordering. How do we do that? What do you mean?
This internet thing it's here to stay, I think, John.
It's the www dot. The Great Wide Web.
How do I build online ordering in? I don't know how that works. Is that you?
Well, I think you got to figure it out, John. I mean, it's cool, but it's strange that sometimes when I call, I get your wife's voicemail. Sometimes I get Stolen Sun's voicemail.
We're just a
That's
family.
all. I don't know if it would be too much.
I think John's using this podcast
We're just trying to make it go with this. But like, it's like we've done the best that we can do. Like,
I hear you. I was just curious.
Like we're honestly like exhausted as a family trying to figure our way through this and do what we can do. And yeah, I know like there's all kinds of different options. The options we have is what we ended up. I don't know what we're doing. We're just
What day is it? Yeah.
What day is it?
Yeah.
What
Oh, there you go.
happened to John? He just jumped off. Come on, John.
Go and eat something.
Now we're back behind this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Evan, it's called water.
Yeah. Great.
I should drink more water. Has anyone found that they drink a lot more beer now in the coronavirus situation? Alcohol, you're drinking more, right? No.
Well,
most people are.
Not at all.
Yeah, how many COVID pounds have you gained? I got at least.
Like, I don't even know like what day it is, what time it is, how many beers have I had today.
The only thing that affected me is I don't know what day it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like being retired.
Yeah.
Like old people, they don't know what day it is. Like every day is the same.
It's all one day. Groundhog Day.
It feels like Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They keep changing the rules on us all the time. That's what changes. Otherwise, everything's the same. That and homeschooling, that's a good time. Anybody else doing that?
I am.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
It is.
That's a small scale. I have a 3 and a 1-year-old, so not really. We're like, what's this? A triangle? All right, let's draw something else.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The wife's doing all that, and she's doing marvelous at it.
Yeah.
So I got a 7 and a 5-year-old daughters.
Kevin, you should ask him to draw a quad angle. That's awesome.
All right, beer check.
Quadrangle.
What you drinking now is what
Doing
we're being
geometry.
What's Baz drinking? It looks super light. He's into the light beer styles.
So this is my new low cal IPA.
That's not hazy.
Not hazy enough.
Looks like the end of the night, Baz.
My wife brought me this.
She's not only schooling your children, she's schooling you too.
Yes.
You about tomorrow.
She had three students in this house.
Yeah. I'm in our tap room right now, so I'm drinking our current Citra.
Oh, nice.
Pretty nice.
Hey, I'm gonna hop in quick. I got one of these drawdowns.
Oh, damn.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you East Branch guys tell me about it a little bit? Because I think this is one of the more of, if I'll quote Taylor, rugged beers that you guys do. I just found like the hops and the maltiness in it are so like forward that it just kind of like, I don't want to say crushes my palate, not in a bad way, but I don't know. I guess when maybe it's just an American IPA and I forget what that's like, but I figured I would just let you guys talk about it for a minute.
That term's a little tongue in cheek because what is that anymore? You know what I mean? There's so many different IPAs that come out of this country, you know, but that's just, I don't know. That one's malty. There's crystal malt in it, a whole bunch of Munich. It's filtered. It's just, I don't know.
Filter beer?
I do, yeah.
I've had a lot of people just tell me that it tastes like pot.
Yeah, it's nothing but Columbus,
what does
Simcoe,
that taste
Cascade.
I don't know. John, I'm on camera, bro.
Okay, what's going on? What does that taste like?
Thank you, Steve.
Yes,
Dang.
that's a
Is
good
it
beer.
dang?
Yeah, that is.
Dang,
Yeah.
Dang.
That's great.
Dang.
Don K is how we say it around here.
Donka.
Little accent. Don K.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah,
Bob,
thanks,
for
Bob.
supporting us.
Never heard of the guy.
I know John Wilcox.
I heard he's kind of a dick.
That's it.
JK John. I love you.
So Dylan, I'm very amazed at how you stare at the camera the whole time.
Yeah.
Because I look down at the screen like I'm reading a teleprompter or something.
I'm looking at whoever's talking, so it might
And
look like I'm looking at.
Well, it's amazing.
I feel like my parents trying to FaceTime. Like, so anyway, guys, it's been interesting and things have been okay.
I'll tell you what. A week or so ago, my kids were on one of these kind of things, a Zoom with like fucking 100 other people or something, and I was like, I stepped in and I was like, peace. Like I lasted like 2 seconds. I was like, this is a nightmare, and I kind of thought that this was going to be like that, and I had anxiety about coming tonight, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna peace and be an asshole in like 2 seconds. But it's been a lot of fun. It's been good.
Yeah, it's been really good.
It's a lot different than doing the same thing with a bunch of 8-year-olds.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to actually see like.
Oh, hey, Steve.
Just so you know, I'm not lying to you.
There it is. That beer is fantastic.
I had a question for you guys. I think a lot of the viewers might be surprised to know how friendly most of the people in the brewing community are towards each other. How did you guys all initially meet or get together? Was it a beer festival? Was it through suppliers? How did you guys all, because everybody seems to know each other, how did you guys all hook up?
I don't know any of these.
10th grade.
Yeah, the first day of 10th
Skateboarding
grade, Kevin and I met each other, and it was beautiful.
You guys need a room?
All right, I'm going to set it up. Ready? He was like,
Yeah.
hey, do you skate? And I was like, yeah. He was like, me too. And I was like, cool. He was like, want to be friends? I was like, yeah. I'm not even kidding.
Let's roll.
How it was. Didn't have anything to do with beer then.
For me and these guys, well, Kevin, he's my brother, so that's obvious.
Yeah, we don't count. They're talking about the other guys.
We don't count.
Where did you guys meet?
When he was born.
Story doesn't check out, bro. That's pretty vague.
Yeah.
Everybody
Born.
It's bullshit.
Crib somewhere.
I don't know anyone here. I've never seen anyone.
John, I saw you the other day.
Who? Who are you? I think I saw one of the Kershner brothers.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I think we met. Well, Gov and I think rode the same school bus together. And
True. Yeah, your sister was in my class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So we were in conjoining neighborhoods, so we were on the same school bus together. And then years later, a family friend Sean kind of reintroduced us, and then it just kind of went from there.
Yeah.
I met Jim. I bought a fermenter off of you.
Yep.
Yeah. That was cool.
Was that before you were brewing? I mean, I'm not obviously while you were brewing, but like before you opened East
That
Branch?
was when I was home brewing.
Yeah, okay.
And guess how many times I used it? I was like, oh, you're selling this? I'm going to use it. He was like, enjoy it.
Thanks, Mark.
I will say that I've not hung out with Gov too much. I see you at either Station Taproom or at the Bottle Room, but when I see you next, I look forward to having a beer with you, man.
Yeah, for sure. Do that.
I saw some parties.
Yeah, it's funny. I heard a lot about Gov from all the Victory guys that I meet, so Slavic and so on, and you were like a little like a fairy ghost guy. Yeah, like I heard his guy, but I never seen him before. And then you showed up on those the Brandywine Valley meeting we had at our brewery, one of the first ones, and they were introducing that website. Yeah. Like we talked and then hung out with Dylan at where were we at the Poorhouse. Mm-hmm. Well, that great Oktoberfest event that nobody showed up for, but we got blasted. That was a lot of fun, right?
There he is, by the way.
That was a good one.
Hi, Sean.
Hi, butthole.
Hey, Sean.
What's up, butthole?
Can you see my butthole right now?
Butthole.
True.
Sean's Facebook feed is boring because his only friend is his wife. So
I'm sure he's got other friends. Chill. Probably.
not me.
Steve and John, let's get a provocative question here. Let's.
Dylan, all right, explain.
Explain yourself.
I don't think I wore a shirt. And then I would just fucking hit home runs.
You're not sure?
Just didn't wear a shirt, then crushed.
Yo, I
ball.
swear half the time you had the shortest cut-off jean shorts and no shirt.
Those are my competition shorts.
I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, that was years ago before you guys had opened the brewery, but
yeah, if shit's going down when you perform, put some cut-off jeans on. Some might be hanging out, whatever. And then I perform.
I think we should get Sean on, and we can just rotate him in.
Yeah, get him on.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send him the link.
Send him the link.
I sent him the link.
I'm gonna go freshen up my beers here.
Yes, you did, Shane. Cheers, brother.
Word, Shane.
Just open a homebrew shop.
Awesome.
Oh, I'm back.
How'd you go? How'd you going? What happened?
Sean, I'm gonna send you a link on Facebook. Look out for it and click the link if you're brave enough.
He's a brave guy.
I can't wait for you guys to see Sean. He's got a big surprise. No, it's better than that.
He's got a mohawk.
Ghost Town.
Better.
Ooh. Now I'm intrigued. Look at Tom. He got rid of the hat.
It's still here. I'm
Ellen.
waiting. I'm just going to use this.
You look good, man. Who's cutting your hair, dude? In this.
Yeah,
My
man.
wife's
Look at
cutting my
that.
hair. My wife's been cutting my hair for years.
Oh man, I
It
need some.
is.
I need some serious. Oh,
Just for fun, she does it. It saves money to spend more on hers, I guess. I don't know.
I think I'm just gonna run this out and have fucking cool ass long hair like John Z over there.
Yes, exactly.
What he said.
It's probably gonna take me 20 years to get hair like that. But
Maybe just a year.
about it.
1 year. 1 year, you can make it happen.
He's talking about the gray part. It takes
Gray part takes 20 years. You see that? I'm going for a Stanley Cup championship this year. All right? I don't shave until that happens.
Are you serious?
What?
Yeah, the answer is yes.
No, I'm never serious, dude. What are you talking about?
Any crazy delivery
I delivered
story? Yeah.
I delivered 2 4-packs to a lady in a goat farm. Like she was with her goats, and I hand delivered her the 4-packs while she was feeding her goats.
She had her ID with her and everything, right?
I didn't give it. I didn't. No, I didn't.
The goat said they knew her. And it was
No.
Yeah.
The goats verified her age, and I gave her the beer.
They're like, she's bad, old.
10 years old.
Older than legal.
I just had the porn delivery scenario. Sign me up. Crazy.
Lazy to
It's actually we don't deliver anymore.
Because of the porn?
Oh wait, I had porn delivered?
I'm gonna leave it at that. We don't deliver anymore.
It was with Evan Aiden, and I delivered to his house, and he didn't have pants on.
He had
And then,
boxers on.
He's like, "Oh, I got the cameras rolling. Like, what do you want to do?" And I was like, all right.
Leave.
A lot of pressure.
That's not what I
You've
do.
been there.
Yeah.
I was like, he's always got cameras rolling. He's in a security company. So I figured I'd just go for it. Nobody's watching this, right?
No.
No.
The
Well,
PLCB is definitely not watching, nor is anybody else. Yeah.
We're an hour 2, so
I don't really like your reaction.
It's good to see you guys. Like that's the best part about this. It's actually good.
Hey,
to see
you know what?
guys.
I agree, Jay-Z. I agree. It's great to see everyone's faces. It's great to chat. It's great to talk to someone other than my wife or my brother. So this is awesome.
Content. Andy's all pissed off.
I like Kevin. What's wrong with Kevin?
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
A little more variety.
I'm kidding, Baz. It's all good.
The variety is spice of life.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's good to be by the fire, talking to some good gentlemen over there.
You're probably hanging out with Dan Cortez over there at your fucking beach party.
What? Beach party? What happened?
Perfect.
You guys got to understand the mustache.
So did your girls do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They trimmed his 4-inch long neck hair so he could have that.
Well, look, I think we got to stop. Where's Andy B show? We gotta get some content up here.
Yeah. What kind of content?
Dylan was talking about porno. I think that was good enough.
Shelter White. Fucking Bodle's the best. Shout out to Matt Bodle. You're the fucking best.
Hi, Sean.
Hey, buddy.
I miss you.
I miss you, Baz. Hey, John. How are you?
He's waiting to see the Tigers.
Yeah.
The Tigers are on the side, all right? Enough of the Tigers.
Dude, you do have a Tiger King fucking vibe right now.
There's no tigers here. Well, maybe. There's 2 tigers. Possible. But no picture.
What exactly were you doing in Guatemala before this whole thing happened?
I was doing a lot.
He fucking ate a bat. That's
There are no pictures of me eating a bat. Number one. I do need to say, like I was talking about this earlier. I went into this like weird warehouse that seemed like it was maybe a couple thousand square feet and was probably 100,000 square feet. And it was this crazy market that I walked in. And before I knew it, there was like animals hanging, people touching. Like it was the most insane market you could ever imagine. I just wanted to get the F out of there.
How many bats?
That was my crazy experience in Guatemala.
I think after that you drink a little Lysol. Is that what you're supposed to do?
Drink Lysol.
Drinking. You don't drink.
Honestly, like the news had already started with everything going on, and like I was like petrified. It was insane. Like there was literally like people just touching with their bare hands like pieces of like chicken, poultry, people cutting stuff. Like it was insane. I couldn't even find my way out of this place.
Oh, it's crazy.
Like Reading Terminal Market.
Except it not being a cave.
Like Reading Terminal Market. It was not like Reading Terminal Market. But it was a great experience.
How are you holding up? Holding up fine. We're trying to be safe and keep our staff safe and all that kind of crap. But I think we should be opening soon. John.
Oh, what was that?
There was like a question at the bottom of the screen. Am I supposed to?
No,
Good answer.
It's getting in my eyes.
Am I supposed to verbally answer
Oh,
when things pop up on the screen?
Yeah, Sean. So we've been
when places, and I don't know.
questions
other
pop
option?
up. When questions
just
pop
can't
up,
really
we just kind of
see.
answer them.
I'm an old man. I can't see the screen in front of me.
You might
we
be
can
too
tell by
far
the knee
away.
brace.
All right. So John is saying catch him up, or somebody's saying catch him up. What the hell do I got? What do I got to do?
We've been chatting along.
I can hear you,
We've
Sean.
been chatting along.
Oh,
And
hi,
any
Kevin.
questions that
Yo,
any questions that pop on the screen, we kind of answer.
Yeah.
All right.
Are
I feel like
the right side or the left side?
I think I did a good job.
You did a great job. You answered the question.
This is like the Brady Bunch right now.
Did I say Station Taproom?
Yeah.
That's an awesome shirt. Is everything good?
What would I do first?
What would you first?
Absolutely nothing.
I'm gonna run a marathon when this is all done. I'm gonna run a marathon.
Well, I would honestly, I would
I
probably
go around
spend.
and hug everybody and
Yeah,
kiss
hugs.
everybody.
Yeah. It's hug time.
Lots of hugs.
I'd kiss a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
You see my parents.
I do. Your parent. I stop by and see your parents every day. That's crazy. Why won't they see?
Kevin's parents.
Oh, yeah. What's the beef?
I'm like, hey, Foz, what up? Hey, Jim.
Hey, what's up, man?
Jim, you got important again.
What's this?
You got important again. You're back on the screen.
You got voted on.
We get. So Sean, we get it's only 6 on the screen at a time, so we get voted off the island every once in a while.
I know. That's what I'm like. I gotta stay relevant.
I got the.
I'm about to eat a
Whenever we
child.
went back to normal, I would shake everybody's fucking hand because I love shaking hands. I love shaking hands.
No, we're not shaking hands. I've already said
I'm
no.
saying hypothetically, thanks to Casey Marie, fake name probably.
That's
I would
no,
shake
that-
hands.
I think that's a real name.
That's definitely a real name. It's a first and a middle name with a middle initial.
AC, like C isn't even a name. It can't even be a middle name. Sounds like
We're gonna brew an IPA when we get back to normal.
What's that?
No, I think most
We're
important.
a really hoppy one. We're gonna do a really hoppy IPA when we get back to normal. It's gonna be awesome.
I think I would spend more time with the things that drove me nuts before. The things that I took for granted.
Like breakdance.
Yeah.
Go on.
I think the guest aspect of it sometimes, like where you're overwhelmed with.
Yeah.
I think I'll never take that for granted again. Casey.
Yeah. I think just
Still
the on
is a good
hands
handshaker.
experience, the hands-on experience of just talking to buddy.
Yeah, get him back.
You got to invite Andy over.
That's all yours, Sean.
Andy B. Show, chill out. I look good.
You're like, let's rewind to that question. How am I feeling?
John, I'm going to take a piss. So you can bring Gov back.
How are we gonna? How do I think it's going to be at somebody else's orders, right? So when we open Taproom, Bottle Room, and East Branch, I think it'll be when and how they tell us to. And I think we'll be opening for like to-go food and to-go beer sooner rather than later as we stage back up. But that's how I see it. I see it as what we're allowed to do and what's safe. Safety first, then what we're allowed to do after that. John,
Hopefully
or
it's the same
whoever
thing,
asked me
right?
that. Hey, Mario.
Thanks, Mario.
Mario, so nice.
We love your look too. J Bong, real
It's
name.
already happened.
Planned to happen.
It already happened, right?
Well, it already happened.
It's happened.
There.
I think Jay means is it going to reopen. There's a liability there, obviously. We were talking about it earlier, Jay, that just say like today we were allowed to open and it's 60-something degrees and sunny out. 500 people would rush the beer garden and it would be socially irresponsible. And so it will happen again. But we have to be careful at that location on how we're going to kind of gracefully open it. I think we'll open the interior first, maybe sections of the beer garden, but it's really, we really don't know at this point, to be quite honest. But thanks for asking.
To Sean's point, we're not going to be able to. We're not going to be. It's going to be dictated to us anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
You get 700 people here.
John's still waiting for people to show up.
Yeah. I got a fire and everything going. There's no one here.
Yeah.
What
So confusing.
I don't understand.
Sorry for that bad language.
I'm sure you're forgiven.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty crappy year, no matter what.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's gonna suck, but it's gonna be all right.
But I'm excited to weather that crappy year because we've all weathered crappy years before. If you've opened a goddamn restaurant or a tap room, and when it's over, we'll be there again, smiling, mustache, beard, who fucking knows, and it'll be better than ever.
All mustache, probably.
I hope.
Mustache.
All
like,
stash.
you usually start it. You know what I'm saying?
It took me a little while to get on here. I spent a little time getting some mascara on there. I had a makeup team.
That orange rouge mascara.
And I said to myself, when
Is
I
that how
get
you
back
say
on
it,
there,
Rouge?
I want to
Okay.
be the upper right corner with the fucking logo over my face.
Exactly.
One right there, right in my mouth.
Yeah.
Put your hand right there.
John was fucking pissed about
Put
that
your mouth
earlier.
right on that. Put your mouth on that and just say whatever you want.
You muck.
Yes.
That was good.
Say you ever said that. That's the truth. The truth circle.
Thanks, Maria.
Maria,
Thank you. What a
you're so
sweetheart.
sweet.
Till the wheels fall off, girl.
That's right.
No, the support of everybody's been awesome, hasn't it? Though, have you guys? I mean, the support's been ridiculous, in my opinion.
Yes.
Amazing.
Dude, Chester
Unreal.
County's awesome. Chester County's awesome.
It's unbelievable.
Mhm. How the hell are you guys drinking it all? Is what I want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are
I mean,
neighborhoods where there are like blocks, like single street blocks that I deliver to every day. It's because they're hanging out in the street
Every day,
drinking beers
all
every
day.
day.
Unbelievable.
Tim, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a little, little rare barrel sour here.
Nice.
Nice.
Really tasty too.
Let me put my glasses on. I can't quite see that.
I know it, but it looks so pretty.
Kevin Kershner, I'd like to punch you in your beautiful
Right in-
face and
I can't
hug
wait.
you.
I'll let you. The next time we could do this, I'll let you punch you square in the forehead.
Yo, thank
That
you, Brews. Has been awesome.
Yeah.
We've
That
had-
beard is not juicy
We've
at
had
all.
a lot of really awesome feedback from our guests, from people buying beer,
Yeah.
and that's all going out to first responders. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super cool.
Yep. It's been good.
Very good idea.
I think it's the coolest thing is like it's not us doing something, it's the guests doing something. I
Yeah.
think that's what makes it special.
Yeah, I made sure we dropped our first one, which, it's growing. People are in our area are just coming around and thank you brews. Like, oh, wow, that's a thing now. And we dropped it and I made sure, write a letter up. This is from the community. It's not from us. I mean, it's our beer. Yeah, sure. But they bought it for you. And that's them saying thanks to you. And hats off to them. I mean,
Yeah,
shit.
it's a really cool move.
Yeah, it's great.
Jim,
Hey,
I know
John.
that. Hey, Sean. Thanks for joining. Hey, Jim.
Thanks for having me.
I saw that you guys released a beer this week that was kind of its own. I don't know what you would call it, but like a give back program. Can you talk a little bit about that? Am I right?
Oh, not a beer necessarily, but we can't do our annual hop party or helping other people party. I mean, obviously, so we changed it to sending hoppy vibes, and what we asked is that the community tells us people in their lives that are hurting from this. It doesn't matter. You could be a first responder. You could be just a mom or a dad that's desperate, or a business owner that's falling on bad times. And then this Saturday we started to hand deliver a bunch of beer and a bunch of other things to people. I drove up to where the hell did I drive up to? Huntington Valley and a couple other places up in the north, and was given beer to first responders and COVID units and things like that, they experience death on a daily basis. I mean, we're all trying to deal with something, but we just wanted people to tell us, who's hurting out there and what we can do for them. I mean, when this whole thing went down, I think every business had to kind of just figure out, okay, well, how do we survive and what do we do? And once we got our act together and we started coming back up for air, we needed to give back. And so I appreciate you asking about that, because we're going to do it till I think it's May 3rd. So 3 or 4 a week, and then just personally deliver them something. Just want to cheer them up and make them feel good.
It's good shit. It's good shit.
Hell yeah.
Thanks.
You got it, Jeff.
What is it really like to collaborate on a beer? Oh my God, that's great.
Can I be the first to talk about this?
Get it.
Can I
kick it.
pull the curtain back and tell the fucking truth about collaboration beers?
Here it comes. You're gonna beat me to it.
Hold on.
Collaboration beers.
Hold on, I got one on my website right now, man. Slow down.
Don't. The people don't need to know.
Collaboration beers are about hanging out drinking beers with other breweries. Like one poor brewer is stuck brewing for the whole shit. Like there's a couple emails or conversations maybe beforehand, and then it's like six or 10 people, or like 4 or 10 people hanging out drinking beers all day, canceling plans
Or 2
later in the day, getting drunk and making mistakes and telling the awesomest stories that they've ever told. And then one poor asshole.
It's
the whole thing.
It's camaraderie, and basically being
that is the Webster definition for camaraderie, I believe.
It's like, yeah. I would do.
It's a get together
of that. Yeah, that's nice. That's going to be good. I've done that before.
Well, those are the true collabs.
What's that?
What's wrong with drinking beer?
Nothing at all.
Says the guy that barely escaped a bat factory.
It actually was touch and go for a couple of minutes. I was kind of wondering, you could not see daylight from any corner you went. It was insane.
God bless Guatemala.
God bless it. I got some great coffee though. More importantly.
What is it?
He's okay.
As of right now, I think he's okay.
He's all right. Just keep the tiger.
It's questionable.
Why are collaborations generally good beers? Because they freaking have to be if you're making them with a bunch of other people, right?
I think they're good beers, but I think it's perception more than anything else. I think it's the idea that people are like, oh, I love those 2 breweries, and blah, blah, blah.
I'll give this beer a chance because I got one of them or both of them.
I think the reality is, all right, wait.
And that being said, that there is a true collaboration going on between recipe formulation and what you're doing, and the whole. I think there's a lot of style comparison between certain breweries, or who comparative is doing this or doing that. So there is a true collaboration, for sure, and they usually turn out pretty good.
Yeah, you're not doing a collab pills usually either,
Yeah, whatever sells.
Yeah, exactly.
What are your long-term plans with this virus?
Kill it.
It's over by June. What if it goes
Get rid of
over?
it. John get rid of it.
Yeah, get rid of it. One of the long-term plans is definitely get rid of
John
it.
Young, is that your pen name? We Might Be Brews. This is a different format than
No, John's real. Hey, John, if you're watching, we've got your bar stool in the same place. It's not going anywhere, man. You'll be back.
John, the plant.
John is a big beer nerd, guys. He's gone to all your places. He's a fan of everybody.
It's all this. I mean, it's just gonna be the same thing. We're just gonna hit play. That's all it is. We're gonna just hit play again. So we duck down, and then we're just gonna hit play.
Truth.
And we're gonna
That's
keep drinking a lot of beer. We got to keep drinking a lot of beer.
There you go. Logic.
Yeah.
That's right.
We don't have long-term plans because we don't know what
Yeah.
the atmosphere will be.
True.
Our long term is 3 weeks.
We are honestly, I'm sure, all making like day-to-day plans and adjusting as such. And John, it's going to be fine.
John, I will say we're in a business that every day we have to adapt, adjust, and apply. We're doing that. And I hope that it goes by fast, and then we just get open and everybody's happy again, and we get to exist the way that we were existing. But if it doesn't go that way, if it goes longer, then we continue to adapt, adjust, and apply and execute.
Yep.
And with the support we've gotten, we'll keep going.
I think hops may actually be a cure for coronavirus.
I believe that.
Or
I'm just going to put it out there. It may not be right. Will you check it? All right.
John,
you talking to the fire?
John, if a tiger comes and snatches you up, I will not be surprised.
Too funny.
Are they more than 6 feet away?
That is true. If you don't use it,
Seth,
you lose it.
Seth, you got to use it. And Seth, I think you should definitely rock a mustache and send a picture out, please.
Mustaches are cool.
Wait, you know what's funny, James? We started this whole entire podcast with you talking about shaving your face.
I know.
And you have a baby face. You have a baby face going on, and now
You look
we're
good.
full circle here.
My
We're full circle here with mustaches.
My wife hates the fucking beard, man, and I had it for what I think almost 2 years, and I don't know. I just shaved it on a whim, and she likes it. So happy wife, happy life. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm committed.
Yeah.
You locked up with him.
Jason, we will be hiring not to kill our business, but to make sure that we're taking care of the folks that were our staff.
Right on.
And then hopefully grow from that.
Yep.
Thank you, Jason.
But Jason, we're not going to give you mixed 4-packs. I'm sorry.
Nope, definitely not.
Jason wants mixed 4-packs.
Never going to happen.
Bottle room, Jason. Bottle room.
I just assume after I say something and then there's like a 5-second delay and then Kevin laughs. I just believe that he's laughing at me.
Probably.
I'm trying to cut this logo.
I will say, like,
the jazz song comment.
Whoever's in charge is so smart to get Baz out of there. Like, honestly.
Yeah. For the first hour, Gov did not say a fucking word.
I watched. I watched.
The whole time he was like, and I was like, can he even hear anything that's happening?
Get the headset. Get the headset on, man. You need one of these. I'm ready.
Yeah,
that's it.
The head saute.
Oh, Jim, what are you doing?
Ooh.
Final thoughts.
Is that time already? Jeez.
Final thoughts. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Hey, real quick, I'm sorry, guys. I know this is crazy, and everybody's just all of a sudden off and on. I appreciate you guys dealing with everything and letting me just vote you off the island and letting me have the ultimate power. But I would like it if you guys went around the room and each told how people can order your beer, how it gets delivered or picked up, if you have any beers coming up in the next week, any kind of special releases or things like that. And I'll let you guys finish with that.
Sweet. Thanks, John.
Cool.
Hit it.
I'll start. Coming up next week, I think we're going to can our lock porter and our triple, I think is the plan. If Gov's mic work he would be able to say the truth about what's really happening.
Go's been gone for a minute.
Yeah, that's okay. But you could go to eastbranchbrewing.com, click online ordering, and see what's available. Whatever is available is on there. So, yeah, it'd be awesome. And delivery goes like, it's within 24 hours, but you'll probably get it within 3 or 4 hours. Even if you order it the next day, you'll probably get it the same day. So thanks. You're up, Jim. Jim, you're up.
All right. Let's see. So LevanteBrewing.com for curbside and delivery. Delivery is throughout the entire state. Beers that are coming up, we got Glitter Parts Key Lime IPA coming up, and then we're going to drop another Hop Cartel Cinco Reyes double IPA. So that's kind of exciting for Cinco de Mayo. So those are the two that are coming out.
Yeah, we're the same. LocustLaneCraftBrewery.com, pickup, delivery, everything available on there, whether it be cans or crowlers. 2 weeks from now, we're canning some. We were supposed to be doing Highland Beer Garden along with a couple other guys in this group this summer, and that's obviously probably not happening. So we did, but we did the Highland IPA we were going to do anyway with a bunch of their cider and a bunch of Nelson Sauvignon hops, and also did a pills. I got a really nice recipe from a German hop farmer, made a nice pill. So canning those two pretty soon, and yeah, that's it. And just more to come. I mean, like, everybody's kind of playing it by ear, and we're trying to can as quickly as possible. So there's always new stuff coming.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Bottle Room, Taproom. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. I think we should be back next week, maybe even next Friday, selling beer curbside and selling food curbside, so that everybody can get fatter and happier and all that kind of crap. We love you, America.
That's your cue. That's your line, Kevin. That's your cue.
Hitting it next. I mean, after that, how can I do it?
Come on, hit it, Kevin.
So, same as Dylan mentioned, we actually have the same point of sale, so it's the same website. But in any case, we have our Bing Bang Boom IPA. We have the All Together right now. We have a Czech Pilsner coming, our double IPA. We have another IPA by the name of Love coming back out. We're going to go ahead and can our Belgian Exit and our Village Porter, which was another collab with Stolen Sun, some of their coffee beans thrown in that bad boy. So it's a coffee style porter. So in the next couple weeks, our cans will be reloaded again. Right now we're a little limited and waiting for some 32-ounce crowlers to come, but we got beer on the way.
Kevin, before we go to John, can you tell me more about your post today? So it was like a collaboration with you guys and Suburban and Stolen Sun, right? So yep. What's that? And then what else? What else was that? Yeah, that. What is that?
It is.
Oh, okay. That's the other side of the can. All right, I understand now. Never mind. Don't explain anything. All right, John, your turn.
Am I on?
John. Jammed up this.
There you go.
We're all back here. All right, cool. So StolenSun.com, and you can find all our information. We're making beer. We're canning beer. We're doing whatever we can do.
Yeah.
Well said.
So Doug's pretty funny. All right, let's just talk until it's over.
That's it. Oh, I have Uncle John's beer coming out next week too. If anyone cares.
Which one is that?
Number 12.
Nice.
1552. Number 12. It's going to be awesome. Falconer's Flight. All the best
that's a great
imaginable.
That's
it's
a
all
great
right.
hop blend.
The kids like it sometimes, but
kids
it's
like the hops.
Makes me feel young again.
It's not juicy. Boo. Not juicy. I'm going to put it out right now. Not juicy.
Miss you, Matt Bodel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I miss you, Evan.
Extremely enjoyable. Thanks, Evan.
Evan, don't give up. It's going to get better.
Is that 5
How
stars?
good is Evan?
Like
honestly, we love the Evan.
All right, kick it. Who wants to say something funny? Kick it.
Well,
Somebody say something cool.
Gov. Oh, I mean,
Where's Gov when you need him?
I don't know if you saw it. Like the first hour and a half, Gov was on screen and didn't say shit. This is fun. This is cool. I'm really happy we
I've
did
totally
this.
seen better podcasts than this. This is one of the worst I've actually seen.
I agree. I think most of them full beards, good people.
Yeah, clean this up a little bit, will you? My
I gotta shave our heads.
Are we allowed to curse?
Guys, thank you. Yes, you can curse. Who asked that? That's ridiculous.
Well,
dang.
Sorry.
But yeah,
I just
please,
wanted
guys.
to ask before.
Thank you so much for doing this. I'm hoping maybe in like another month or two, when all this is over, we can do another one and reflect back on it.
Yeah.
In
person.
Yeah, maybe in person from afar. We could stay 10 feet away from each other. Shit.
No handshakes. We'll do fist bumps and hugs. Fist
I
bumps
really
and
want
hugs.
to do
That's it.
on-site visits with all of you and do on-site, recordings again. But this is also nice. I mean, who knows? Why not hop in for 15 minutes and promote your new beer, as we move forward. I think things like that, it'll make
3
it
hours, dude. We'll do 3 hours.
I know you guys will, especially Gov.
I can drink all night. I could be all night with this fireplace right now.
The funniest part of doing the funniest part of doing the East Branch episode was that Gov is the one I expected to talk the least. I imagined you and Sean going nonstop, and Gov talked the entire time.
Yes.
It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. It was really weird. But guys, I think I'm just going to have to let you guys off one at a time so that everybody gets a chance to say goodbye. So I'll start with you, Jim from Levante. Fan of the show, multi-time guest. So keep doing what you're doing. You already told how everybody can pick your beer up. You're out in distribution a little bit now. I'm seeing Cloudy and Tickle Parts. Beers like that. The Pilsner out there in the wild.
Wegmans.
Yeah, I hear you. But
made the big time.
keep up the good work, man. Thank you for joining. Wish you guys the best, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Dude, John, thank you guys. Thanks, Might Be Brews. Come on, let's give it up for them. This is good. Yeah, they do great work, man. They do great work.
Thanks, guys.
See you, Jim.
Bringing Mr. Steve on.
Steve,
what up, Maester?
I got Jim out of there. Jim is out. I'm in.
That's right. Was this weird? Like just guys dropping all of a sudden? You guys did really well. I mean, I would just pull you out, pull somebody else back in.
Give me time to get a beer.
Go.
I got a beer in the middle. It's perfect.
Personal. I totally took it personal every single time I got dropped.
Yeah, me too.
I did you on purpose, John. Every time I thought you were going to say something important, I just pulled you out.
I swear, it was right there when I got dropped.
It felt natural.
Yeah, Tom at Locust Lane.
Tigers were coming out. Boom. Tigers.
I know, right?
It's crazy. You
Tom
hate
Arnold.
tigers. I get it. You hate tigers.
John's the best.
All right,
Sorry.
John's out. Tom, thank you.
John's gone.
Tom, thank you. Thank you.
John's back.
I just got it. No. Tom, thank you. Thank you.
It was not killed by whoever.
All right, he's out. Tom, thank you. I appreciate you, man. It's been a blast having you and talking with you over the past couple of weeks. So keep up the good work.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you soon. All right. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Tom.
Oh,
Kevin and Basil. I'll do you guys at the same time.
Dude.
I don't like the way that sounded.
Quick timeout. If you go into Gov, I bet he'll be asleep.
Gov's screen's been off forever. He logged off like an hour ago.
Yeah, he logged off. He said something in the chat.
Yeah.
All right.
The good old Irish exit.
I could take like a half.
What's up, Maggie?
I could take like a whole thing, like a whole half barrel of Summer Ande. That beer is something special, dude.
Yeah,
Kevin's audio's gone.
Thank you.
We'll just have to listen. I lost Kevin's audio.
It's a good beer. It's really good beer. It's something we brewed in preparation for Oktoberfest kind of celebration, and I brewed a shit ton of it, and it's lasted that long. It's really good.
If you want some, we have plenty of it.
Oh, there he is.
I'm back on.
Nice. All right, well, work me out a deal. I'll take a sextol or something like that off of you.
Nice.
Yeah, six or half. Or half.
Or half, yeah. I can fit it. But guys, thank you. I really appreciate you guys taking the time again to hop on. And
John, this
Baz,
was
all your
awesome.
deliveries.
Like by the way, when we were all in the backstage area, we really partied.
Yeah, backstage crazy.
And then you pulled us on.
Oh,
yeah, we lost him.
Yeah, well, he partied too much.
Yeah, he did. But Brothers Kershner, thank you again. I appreciate you guys. Have a good night. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Hell yeah.
My hammies.
Jay-Z's over there somewhere.
I'm still here.
Dylan, I'm actually surprised to talk to you on the show.
I know you. You're John.
You've blown me off, I don't know, 4 or 5 times straight. Just completely stood me up.
No, it wasn't.
But it's okay. I understand you've got way more important things to do. You know, your business and your personal life take a lot more preference. And, you know, we're not trying to help you out or anything. You know, and make sure people know how to get your beer. So
I've had nothing but fun doing this.
No, it's all been fun, man.
Is everyone watching?
Yeah, we can see you, John.
We see you, John.
Where is he going? Is he going to? I bet you he's taking a piss.
No, I'm still here. I'm still here.
The tiger.
I'll sit as long as you want. Look, watch. Look, boom. Boom.
Oh,
I'm here.
red flags, John.
I'm here. It's like I never left.
But Dylan, thank you for actually taking the time out of your incredibly busy, important schedule to hang out with us.
I'm like the flakiest one. I'm so
But
sorry.
no,
I just wish we could hug you. I just wish we could hug you, Dylan.
I love hugging.
I know.
We love being
There's
hugged.
nothing wrong with that. Just
Thank
no
you.
handshaking anymore, but hugging good, handshaking bad.
I'll take a handshake any day.
Kevin's typing an email. I just thought I'd
there's
bring it back
Kevin.
in.
Hey, Kevin.
He never logged off, so
No, I'm back on. I was
I just
supposed to
saw his
log off.
fingertips on the on screen.
Oh no.
But yeah, guys, thank you everybody. Sean, I mean, you were a last minute addition, but thanks for hopping on and talking.
I wasn't
with
invited, and I invited myself, and it was really nice.
us.
You were invited.
He did his hair and everything for the
I
show.
didn't invite
It was
Gov
awesome.
either, and he showed up and was a huge
I
contributor.
didn't invite Gov. I think he knows my password to my email.
Nice. And Jay-Z, thanks for everything.
Sure.
I appreciate you being a guest. You've been on the Facebook Lives a few times.
The interwebs. I'm on the interwebs all the time. I'm
So
here.
thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man.
I don't know what else to do. I'm just
Thank you guys
there's no one else here. There's no one
Thank
like
you.
take care of
Thank you guys for promoting what we do.
Yeah.
Promoting our scene, promoting small business that's going to need you guys more in the future than ever. And keep at it. And
I appreciate it.
But be assholes. Say when it sucks. You know, like that's the kind of like. Don't just be those guys that are like, oh, that's really great fucking beer. No, like, let's move forward. Let's create good fucking shit, good content, but be honest about what beer is. And
Awesome,
you've done that so far, and I'm excited.
I'm never going to be on here if they say that. Come on,
Hey,
Sean.
shut up,
Hey,
John.
I called you out after online ordering. You got to figure that out.
The online ordering. Come on, the online ordering. Enough of that.
I just ordered online with John right now. I felt it was super simple.
Did you? Hold on.
Really streamlined? No, I did not. I'm trying to promote your business.
It's
Definitely
all
did
right.
not. Definitely didn't.
Do online ordering. It's fun. It's fun.
Oh. Yeah.
Order. Messages in Facebook asking me how to order.
All right, guys. All right, I think it's time to call it.
Thanks,
I appreciate
John.
you guys taking the time.
John.
Let's stay in touch. Let's wrap this up and
Wait, who
and
has
do
a
this
who has a
again soon.
Zoom account that we can finish this up?
You guys rock. Might Be
I
Brews
mean, if you
rocks.
guys want to hang on, we can just hang on and crack another couple beers. But
That sounds great.
Well, listen, I got nothing to do.
Wait, is this the after-hour show? Like, are we going to cut this and then sign back on?
I mean,
Usually
we
the
could.
Patreon show.
I know, right?
There it is.
Are we just rolling?
Kevin knows what's up.
What? Honestly,
Listen.
Kirshner's ruin almost anything.
That's a hard pass line. Take it from the guy with the mustache.
They make it funner. They make it funner.
You know, you're two of my favorite Kirshners, and there's some bad Kirshners out there.
Yep.
Oh, the hops.
We make it funner.
I got the hops. Oh.
Oh, look, John's
there
got a
you go.
dog. Oh.
She's been here all day bringing food out with me.
John's on record molesting a dog.
No, that was actually a tiger. If anyone asks, it's a tiger.
That was a tiger.
Big
Tiger.
tiger.
Hi, Taylor.
Does anybody know
Cheers.
Taylor?
Hey, Taylor.
I don't know Taylor.
Hey, Taylor.
Where you come
Cheers,
from,
Taylor.
Say something, Taylor. We're going to answer some
Mr.
questions.
Steve, are
real
you
quick.
hanging out for a minute, or you got to roll?
Just like a couple minutes.
All right.
Like,
I'm gonna drop out and let Dylan back in. I'm gonna
Like
crack
this
a
many
beer
minutes.
quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, beer cracking.
Dylan's never
actually-
been cut out before.
I actually opened up another altogether, but the Stickman variety.
There you
Oh,
go.
nice, nice. Do they go dry or hazy?
I
They
believe
went
it's
hazy.
pronounced thick-thin.
It looks pretty thick.
Hazy.
Stickman.
Thick, thin. I believe they call it thicken.
Thickman.
Thick man.
Stickman. Have you guys
Dylan,
listened to the Stickman podcast? I find it.
I
find
love it.
enjoyable.
Bad beer, higher prices.
Yes.
Great.
I listen to it all the time.
The one that really hits home is the episode that's all the shit we hate about you, which is it's fucking perfect. I just gotta say it's perfect, and they do it with love, but it's hilarious. It's epic.
I enjoyed
Ethan,
the Untapped
is it
review
funny?
of the week.
Ethan's a funny son of a gun.
So I talked to him the other day, and I was like, "Hey," we were talking about business stuff, and I was like, "Hey, just so you know, like, I love your podcast." He's like, "Oh, awesome." He's like, "Do you wanna come on?" And I was like, "No." He was like, "That's what everybody says."
Because they walk that beautiful line, man. They're right there on the
No,
line.
they don't. They don't walk it.
They don't walk it. They kick it. They kick it
push
in the head.
They push it. They push it. They push it.
Yeah.
And I commend him for it. It's
I
not
wanna have
something
him
that I
on-
would do, but it's something I appreciate that they do.
I
Shit,
really
yeah.
want to have him on. I think we could have some good back and forth.
Hell yeah. That'd be-
He's
Oh.
fun. He's funny as shit, man.
Yo, he's awesome.
He's my next one.
And the crew that he has on his podcast, they're great. It's
Mhm.
awesome.
I'm gonna go grab a beer. I'll be right back. What
Do it.
should I get?
See you, Sean.
I don't know. What do you got?
See you later.
That's a ambiguous question.
I have a lot of one thing, some of another.
It's very
Whatever the
ambiguous.
third beer
Hey,
is
John.
to be. The third beer, get it.
All right. All right.
Oh,
We'll
that's a
see
good
what,
one.
what is that? Okay.
No,
awesome.
Rich.
Jay-Z,
No dicks.
this is one of my favorite beers. You know, because I got Baby Juice's 6 feet of separation.
Who doesn't get baby juices?
It's fantastic. It's so good to be so light. And they're all fantastic. This one stood out to me for some reason. It's so good.
Cool. Thank you.
Who is that?
It was me. I was like, shit, I'm off camera. I can burp.
Take
But-
That's, you forgot about that microphone on your head.
Dylan, who's that pretty lady that's always in your car with you?
Oh, why,
Chill, John.
why are you staring at my car? It's a
I
Golf.
mean, I'm just following you around.
It's a Volkswagen.
That's my lady Maria, and
Nice.
she's the best.
She's super sweet.
Yeah,
If you had to pick between Maria and me, who would you pick?
Maria.
Mustache
I mean,
or no mustache?
Yeah, I was just saying.
Is she there right now? That's so lame. Maria, you know the answer to that question.
she told me to say, like, you're right, Sean.
Who's Nikki?
Is that right?
Yo,
She's my
Nikki.
friend. She just joined. You missed
Oh,
it.
nice. Hey, Nikki.
What's up, Nikki?
So, John, what have you been up to? Have you had any more? I asked this question earlier before you were on, but since you are usually more involved with the station tap room and bottle room, and they've been closed, have you had any more time on your hands? And how have you used it? Have you had any any
shaved his
hobbies
head.
or anything else you've gotten into?
No, so
He's had enough time on his hands. He shaved his head. Look at him. Come on.
John.
His kids shaved his head.
John, I look so good. It's
You do
bothering
look
you.
great, actually. I'm gonna say it. You look really good.
I know.
I might
know.
do it
Thank you.
myself. I'm gonna do it myself.
John,
Next
John,
show,
if you shave your head,
Next show, I'm doing it.
glue it on my
Mustache,
hair.
all done.
No, I think
What?
so when you own a 7-day-a-week restaurant, you're you're always thinking about when is that moment that we can fix this or fix that, or we have fixed all of those fucking things, and none of them, all of those things are cosmetic and stupid, and but we fixed all that shit.
I thought somebody said they saw remodeling happening in bottle room.
Yeah, with a tiger.
No.
Okay.
We have an exposed brick wall, and so we finally had the time. We opened 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago, and we resealed that brick wall, beat the shit out of it, resealed that brick wall, and then we're changing the structure there. We're limiting or lessening the shelves. So that, and then we put some booths in the station tap room. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, they're fucking awesome.
I saw them. I saw pictures. That's really cool.
People like booze. I love booze.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Well, hopefully we can all sit in booze. Evan, he's on it.
Have you guys ever met Evan? You should.
Evan's a shit. Evan makes good beer, actually.
He does. He's got, who did he get? He had a canning machine from somebody. I think it was Mike Camara.
Mike,
he got a little canning thing. So he was like, "Oh, I just did this pale ale. Try it." And I'm like, "This is delicious." And he was like, "Here, take a couple cans home." And he just canned me up a couple beers.
I gave him that.
Did you?
Yeah, because Mike was like, "Don't give it to him," and I was like, "I should give it to him."
Who's in the tap room?
That's right.
Yes, Cameron. It's gonna be great.
Dude, you know what's crazy is the first time I went into Station Tap Room, I did not drink beer. I was not a beer fan.
I know, and it used to drive me nuts because we play softball, and I'm like, "You drink beer?" And you're like, kind of.
Beer?
No, I remember bringing twisted teas to softball, and then when you opened up, I was so excited to support you, and I go in for dinner, and the only thing I knew that I liked was Lindemann's Framboise, and that's what I ordered. I was like, let me get a bottle of that for the table or whatever, you know what I mean? And I think my wife and I had 2 of them, and but yeah, I mean, it's crazy how things have changed, but and I don't know, and happy 10-year anniversary, by the way.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
It's bittersweet.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, that party, I haven't actually been to one of your parties yet, your anniversary parties.
There's some good parties.
They're awesome.
It always looks crazy.
But I think ultimately, I think when we first opened, it was the idea of fuck, I hope we make it a year. And then it's fuck, I hope we make it 2 years. And then, 10 years happens and you're like, oh, that's fucking great. And you look back and all the different things that happened over a decade and all the relationships you built and the guests that you've got to be a part with. And, you know, that's where it's like, that's the bitterness where it's like, I want to spend time with those folks. Yeah. And like Kevin and John and Dylan, you know, they're all going to experience those things, but it's like, and they're experiencing those things, but at 10 years, you're like, shit, like, you just want to be with those folks that like helped you along the way as it went, and not like try to survive through some bullshit, or not bullshit, some pandemic.
It is bullshit, but it's a pandemic nonetheless. But it fucking sucks. I class things that suck as bullshit.
John, what did you say?
I said, what's this pandemic you're talking about?
Well, so it's this thing called.
Have you heard of this before?
I mean, I'm still
Sounds
waiting
like
for people to come out
up.
and hang with us here today.
Covey, what?
Oh,
John, your whole thing is like, you're like, fuck it, like people stopped coming in, so we just started putting it in their trunks.
That's it. That's all we're doing, man.
I love your survival. No, so with all that said, it's miserable to not be with our guests, but we're thankful that we're still at it, and the moment that we can be at it, we will be. Blah, 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 blah.
How long have you been open?
Since July of 2018. So
what happened to your mic, bro?
What's your mic?
Your mic.
Sorry about that.
You're the second person on the show.
Drop the mic.
Yes, sir.
Drop the boom, damn it.
Kershner, how long have you been open?
July of 2018. So this July will be our 2-year anniversary.
And Jay-Z, how long has Stolen Sun been open?
I don't really know.
Okay. All right. So, Sean, you've been a business owner for a decade now, at least, with another business next door. And I remember you said this to me once, Sean. You said, you know, the podcast is interesting, but I wish I could have heard myself before I opened, while I was opening, and after I had opened, and listened to the difference, you know, and how things progressed and how my attitude changed and what my priorities were. What advice could you give to other business owners that are in their first, second, third year to help them, I guess, to help them in general? I mean, do you have anything that you can say?
Two things. Pre-coronavirus, just keep at it, fight, and you know, engage with the guest and figure out what your guest needs and wants and all that kind of crap. Post like living in coronavirus, whatever the fuck you can do to survive, so that you get to do what I just said.
Yep.
And it's so, because nobody signed up, like no business owner signed up to do what we're doing, and that's what makes it fucking miserable. Like that, nobody signed up to make beer and drive around in a car all goddamn day to sell beer. And nobody signed up to make beer and put tacos and six packs in the back of somebody's car. And none of that, there's nothing's wrong with all of that, but that was never the business model. And that the adaptation and the survival is what is driving that. But all of these breweries cannot wait to get back to serving you the way you want to be served and the way we want to serve you.
Shit, yeah.
I don't think it's lost on, at least most of us. I don't know if everybody realizes it, but most of us, I think, realize that the tap room pouring a pint model has the most margin and is the best for everybody. You get the freshest beer. You get the personal experience. You know, you get to deal with the employees. You get to enjoy the space. You get delicious beer.
It's a model centuries old. It's what people prefer.
Exactly.
Because it's fucking awesome.
Yep.
But how much of this model of delivery and canning is going to stick around? Do you think people are going to get used to it? Do you think people are going to say, hey, I really like those East Branch beers, but it sure was nice when that guy with no shirt and shorts on dropped them off on my
Right?
doorstep.
Yeah.
With no
You
short
know what I mean?
and shirt on.
Yeah.
I don't care what season it is, John.
Yeah,
Is that what
with
you do, Dylan?
the-
That's
Dylan,
what I
I'm
do.
ordering
that's
from
his
you
business
tomorrow.
model.
Tomorrow
Look,
we're
John.
ordering from you.
Look, John, we
At
all
the
have
brew-
different styles. You know what I'm saying?
If I can get my beer with jorts and nipples, that's what I'm going for every time.
I'm
Yeah,
all
know,
about it.
know your
You're
assets.
coming to the brewery tomorrow. I'm ordering tomorrow at the brewery.
That's got to be the Might Be Brews East Branch collab. Jorts and nipples. I regret
Just no
saying
kissing on the mouth.
that.
John, your question though, I think people are going to get used to this and they're going to kind of like it, and I think it's going to be a interesting negotiation of the new waters, but I think some folks are going to like everything right there at their fingertips, and people are going to want to get out. It's an
Yeah. So you guys both Brothers Kershner and East Branch are delivery only, right?
Right now, yeah.
You know, and Dylan, I wasn't trying to be a pain in the ass, but when I put my order in, I was like, please don't go out of your way to deliver to me. Like, I'll come pick it up. And then I realized you guys are delivery only.
Yeah. It actually, sometimes people come to me with that, like, oh, don't go out of your way. And it's actually more convenient for me to deliver it to them than for them to, like,
Leave doors
to
unlocked or
orchestrate
whatever.
them to show up and pick it up at the right time. I would prefer people to just get delivery.
And I think for us in the scenario East Branch, for the scenario we're in, with that space, I think the easiest, best way is delivery right now. Would you agree, Dylan?
Yeah. With a little yawn, but yeah, it wasn't what you were saying.
I mean, like, Dylan, do you agree with me?
Do you agree?
All right, so
I agree with you.
all right, so I want to ask about East Branch in general. You guys have always stuck with traditional styles. Will you guys, do you think, ever put out a super hazy, juicy style New England IPA?
I don't know. We did a
With
sure
lactose.
double IPA. I don't know. It wasn't exactly a New England style, but we did a fucking.
It's like Alluvium is like in the wheelhouse, but it's crystal clear.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. I'm going to say things that I probably shouldn't say, but that's in our wheelhouse. We want beer that is fully processed. We're not scared of a 4-week turnaround on a beer. We're not trying to, it is what it is, and we drink the beers that you're talking about, love them, but for us and what we create, it's what we create. What you get is what we create, and we're confident in those beers, and that's what we have to be, is confident in the beers that we create. And we are great friends with folks that create super fucking hazy beers. Spend a lot of time with them and love it. We love that. But what we put out is what we put out.
I don't have a shit ton of experience with the lagers and pilsners and all these other styles. But as I've gotten into them and I circle around and get this new release from East Branch called what's it called? Carte Blanc.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
That beer is crazy.
Yeah.
It's super crazy.
It's beautiful.
I know you guys got some, because when Basil came to deliver my growlers of Weedle and Summer Ande, which were both amazing, I offered Baz a beer. I was like, hey man, I don't know if you've had this yet, but check out this beer from East Branch. He was like, me and Kevin split a case of it, and but he was like, this is perfect. This is great for the ride home. But But
off,
yeah,
off the record.
Off the record. When he got
off the
home.
record. When he got home
Yeah.
is what he said.
This is the perfect time for drinking and driving. It's amazing.
Cops aren't going to do shit.
I mean, I got customers pulling up with beers and they're total of roadies all over the place. It's the best time. Like, this is the renaissance for drinking and driving.
But I think it's crazy to not be necessarily like a huge fan of the style or just getting back into like those pilsners and lagers and things, and you have a beer like Der Bock that is mind-blowing, and it's crazy that those beers have such incredible flavor and balance. I don't know what you guys do, because I hear people talk about things like temperatures and water pH and things like that I don't understand. I mean, we're not a very technical show. We don't talk about that kind of stuff, but I mean, whatever you guys know and are doing, you can taste it in the beers.
The people want to hear about mineral count.
I think right now
Are they wizards?
it's a great time to
order
beer from people. Order beer from people and like actually sit down and drink it and think about it. And think about what you're drinking. And like, even if it's a style that you're not used to, sit and sip 12 or 16 ounces of beer and think about it and enjoy it and see what happens.
Yeah, dig into it.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
Before you put an untapped rating in, you should drink 12 to 16 ounces. I agree.
Well, I think
Yes.
that I think the idea of lager is it's age old. We know it. It is your grandfather's beer, but the reason that you don't see it mass produced is it takes time. It takes love, or mass produced at I should say at like a craft scale. Is it takes time, and it's not like you don't make a ton of money from it because it takes at the very least 5 or 6 weeks with great love and with great care and with you need somebody that knows what they're doing with that beer. And when you get a final product, somebody goes, well, it tastes a lot like blah blah blah, and it's like, okay,
but
Thanks.
But I know
that
that it tastes completely different from what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they're saying they've had American cheese and they had cheddar for the first time, and they say, well, cheddar tastes like that. That's okay. But as time goes on and they drink that beer more and more and more, and it's about that education of saying, why does it taste different?
Mm-hmm.
Before you know, you go, I don't really like that American cheese. Still tastes good sometimes, but I don't really like it as much as this cheddar. Cheddar tastes good, right? Cheddar's whole fat.
You guys like cheddar?
Cheddar is not processed, right? Tastes good.
I always like asking the entrepreneurial and business questions, right? And it just seems backwards to me that a lager takes much more. I'm just assuming because I don't brew, but a lager and a pilsner needs to be well executed, takes longer, more resources to make happen. And something like a double dry hopped IPA can be quick. And I guess there are more hops. There's more expensive things going into it. But with the lager taking as long as it does, it gets sold for cheaper.
Yeah.
So it's about
something
demand.
that can get turned around in 2-3 weeks.
It's supply and demand. So the idea of like, I know folks that can turn around an ale in 10 days. They can put the most luxurious, hi, Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel.
So Gov's still around in some form.
Let's go.
Rachel, shove it, Rachel. So I think when you're talking about like this 9 or 10 day ale that they spent this much money on hops and all that kind of crap, it's it's great for the brewery because you can turn it around, and it's the idea of you can charge more because it's fresh and it's zinging, but it's not gonna last long and all that kind of crap. Lagers are brewers' beers. Lagers are the beers that you want to drink after a long, hard day.
Yep.
I don't want to drink a double dry hopped bullshit. I'll drink that shit. I love it. It's great. But when you finish a hard day of work, what do you want to drink? You want to drink something clean, refreshing, and that says, "Sweetheart, I haven't been drinking." I just threw that last part in.
It was the best part.
You could have led with that. But I think ultimately, like, I'm in love with lagers. I've drank all over Europe, and I fucking love beer. I love lagers. What's going on? Did I miss something?
This is awesome. We're on the left pane.
Look,
It's like
look,
a window.
Evan. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to figure this out. But Evan just did a little what do you call it? Photoshop magic. Check out what's next to
Hey,
Jay-Z
John.
over there.
John, don't move, man.
John,
Don't
check out
move.
this shit. John, do you see that, John?
Oh, where'd he go?
He's fucking right.
Well, that answers
John,
You sure
to your right.
You sure it's a Photoshop? You sure it's a Photoshop? That might have been real.
Look out,
Oh,
John.
that's so good.
The tiger got him. He's out.
Tiger goddamn got him.
All right, we'll bring it back.
John's gone. John's fucking gone.
But I gotta say it's important that people start respecting lagers more than they do.
Yeah. Agree.
And like, it's not like this is like the public service announcement. Like, lagers are that is beer.
So Sean, I completely agree with you. All right. And I think John can attest to this because he's almost seen it from me. I've gone from I'm ordering every IPA on the list at the station tap room to I'm starting with the lager. I'm starting with the pills. I'm starting with this. How do we get more people to take that path?
All right. So God, I'm sure I'm going to regret everything I say. So
there's only like 2 people watching. Don't worry about it.
Perfect. So I think like when we first started, when I was working in the drafting room and we talked about like how we were going to try to make beer more, hi, John. We were trying to make beer more every day, right? Craft beer, like good beer. We talked about like what are the beers that you would go after, and 9 times out of 10, it was always like what stimulated somebody was like a hoppy beer, and not the hops that we know now, like old school pale ale or old school West Coast IPA,
like the triple C's, man.
Right. So as time went on, it was just the idea of you wanted people to drink craft made beer.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't care as much what they were drinking. But then when craft made beer started to become something so aggressive in a way like shit, like they're just knocking out beers every 6 or 7 days. And it's not like that's where it started to become, all right, let's get refocused on what beer is. And I'm proud of like a decade at the tap room of we curate what our tap list is, and we give people what we think is the best stuff. But I think like ultimately people choose what they want. And if everybody wants super juicy, crazy late hop stuff or like super dry hop stuff, then have it, take it, enjoy it. But there is a market for folks that want super clean lagers, super clean ales, and that's what at East Branch, that's what we're trying to provide. And I think that brings it full circle. Like you said, why will you ever? And the answer is, who knows if we'll ever do some juicy thing. But I can tell you certainly we're proud of every beer we make, and we feel like it hits all the flavor profiles that folks are looking for without the idea of putting it in a glass and looking at it from a sight standpoint.
It's amazing. I always want to tell people, if you are having trouble or getting, tired of the hoppy or the juicy IPAs, you guys are the first place I recommend, because there's something special, and it's not because I know you guys. I know this for a fact, that when I drink a majority of the East Branch beers, that you can taste that they're extremely well executed. And I have a hard time vocalizing that or trying to make sense of it, but you can tell that they're that well done. It's incredible how well balanced they are, but also how bold and how full of flavor they are.
Well, I can vocalize. It's simple. I think Gov has been brewing beer for Gov started brewing at Victory Brewing Company when they were small, and he left there when they were big, and he got to do things that very few other brewers have done. And what I think what's important about that is that he makes beer so clean and the way that he wants it to be, and it's not ready until he is ready to put it out there. And I think that's very important.
It's so frustrating.
No, yeah, sure, it's frustrating from a standpoint of all right, let's go, but that dude fucking wants beer to be perfect always, and I appreciate, respect, and love every aspect of that. With that said, what we do is we brew beer that we want to drink. If it's some bullshit we wouldn't drink, with some sort of weird shit in it that we might not want our bodies to process, we probably won't make it.
It's funny when I think about beers like Alluvium, that I hear Gov's like, gotta fucking brew it. It's what sells. And then beers like Aurum, which are one of my favorites.
Hard to recreate.
Ever. And he's like, I got to replace these fucking gaskets because they smell like barrel now.
Yeah.
Shit like that. So it's funny how, a beer that can be so delicious can be so taxing on a brewer. And it probably does well or whatever, but it's like, man, it's not necessarily to their style or what they prefer to do, but it does because of the business aspect, or or you're trying new things. But it's just interesting altogether. But Sean, I have a question for you, and I'm just guessing that it's a loaded question, and I'm wondering if you can make a story out of this. But what role did a beer like Hop Hands have in your businesses?
That's a loaded question.
Because
what do you mean?
Well, I don't know, because I'm just guessing and
I'll turn it
prodding.
around. What do you think? What do you think it?
Well, it's on tap always at both locations.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's just because of the relationship you have with Hired Hands, if that's a special beer to you. Did that inspire you in any ways in your business or in anything else? You know what I mean? I don't know, because you really didn't have much to do with East Branch, but as far as the guys that opened that place up, I'm wondering if it had anything to do with that.
So yeah. So when we opened Taproom, the first one of our first, when we opened, we created like a blended sour beer, or a blended beer from stuff that they had at Westchester, Iron Hill, and Gene was working there at that time, and we went over there right before we opened, and we blended a beautiful beer called Centaur, and John, keep stoking that fucker
as loud as he can.
So-
I'm just trying to move the sorry.
So
What up, Kev?
I get
Oh, Kev's back.
so we had made that, like, Gene and I have had a relationship for years, way back to when I was a bartender at Drafting Room, and so when we opened, he was like, hey, he had asked for permission to make this this blend with the stuff that they had at Iron Hill, and that everybody was cool with it, and it went well, all that kind of bullshit. And then I don't know, maybe a year later, Gene said, hey, look, I found a brew system in upstate New York or whatever the fuck it was. And he said, what do you think? And I just, I was an advocate for him, no different than he was an advocate for me. And, that's where it went. But from Hop Hands for us is, it is relationship based. It's a dude that we're proud of. I think we were the first place to pour Hop Hands when Gene was trying to open his place. We did a dinner with Tallulah's Table, and he had made Hop Hands for the first time, or had put Hop Hands on tap for the first time, and people went ape shit. And I remember looking at him and saying, if you make this all the time, you'll be fine. And so that, Hop Hands has a special place in our hearts. Yeah, there you go.
Flute.
So I don't know if I'm answering your question, and I don't know if it was a loaded question, but
It was totally loaded. But like loaded.
It seems obvious. I don't know if it's obvious, but I think to people who are constant patrons of the establishments that they notice Hop Hands, Saison Hands are on always, and it must have a special meaning to you. So I guess I was curious if it had any higher roles than we realize in business decisions, or things like that, inspires you in other ways, or just how it's been a part of your business and things like that.
I'll say it as simple as this. Gene is one of my very good friends. I am proud and happy to pour his beer. There are very few beers that we pour constantly. His is one of them, and I'm proud to do that. And he's a good man, a good friend, and the moment that he isn't, we'll cut those fucking taps off. It goes a long way, and that's I think that's a big part of beer is relationships and long-term relationships, and I'm proud of that. That's what we are at Taproom in terms of beer, is long-term relationships, and I take pride in those relationships. To pour some of those beers, and I was thinking about Daisy Cutter the other day, and I remember we were the first suburban account that got to pour Daisy Cutter. Now you see Daisy Cutter everywhere. I love that fucking beer. It's one of my favorite beers, right?
It's awesome.
It's great.
I remember looking for that beer. I remember being down in the city in Philly and being really excited that some kind of beer bar down there had Daisy Cutter and had it on tap. And I remember when you guys had it. It was crazy.
Yeah, and that was always something we took great pride in.
John's getting bored.
Trying to bring the best beer to Chester County. We could.
I think we kind of touched on this a little bit, but what hardships do you think your customers don't see that you guys deal with in these current times? Are there things for example, I guess we've already kind of talked about it, but in that same vein of running out of aluminum.
Yeah.
You know, these cans and crowlers, you know, being gone. Are there anything else that we don't see that you guys are running into? Are there hop shortages, malts, other equipment or ingredients?
Before anybody answers, John, have you experienced that?
Me?
Hey, John.
Jay-Z?
Yeah.
John saying, I mean, I'm just not showering as much. I don't know what's going on. What are you asking me?
Are you experiencing trouble getting aluminum?
No, actually, we're 16-ounce cans, no issue at all. Zero.
All right, Kevin.
Crowlers,
Yeah,
a little bit of an
crowlers.
issue, but yeah, crowlers, but 16-ounce cans, no issue at all.
Crowds are the issue. I would say the one thing that customers don't realize, maybe, to John's question, is that, it's not, we're delivery only at this point. And I can only speak for our model. And our model is just that. It's delivery only. And we do it in a window of time that's, we load up for the day. You get your order in by a certain time. It's same day delivery. If it's after that time, it's within 24 hours. So it's, it's tough because I think when folks think delivery, they think of it's the fast food pizza delivery type model where I put an order in 20 minutes, that thing's at my door, and 30 minutes it's at the door. I think that's probably the biggest thing we're negotiating right now is exactly that. Is, oh, well, we're loading up a truck and we're running, 30 some odd routes throughout the whole day.
Yeah.
And that's how it works.
It's interesting because I think people are used to Amazon in 2 days, but if you're ordering from a pizza place, you get it in a half hour. Yep. Where does beer fall? People don't know yet.
Yeah,
I say, fuck you. Like,
yeah,
get enough.
Good point.
I got a question for Dylan.
Figure it out.
What's your normal bedtime? You look like you're yawning quite a bit.
Around 10:30 or 11 right now.
I'm just
Is that
messing.
COVID time?
Pretty honest.
Is that COVID time?
But it could be like 2.
I love Dylan.
So, like, I guess one of the examples I thought was really neat was Animated Brewing. Friends of ours opened in Coatesville.
Yeah.
The poor guys, I mean, they've been planning on opening in late March, early April, and COVID happens, and things are not what you expect. We talked about it earlier. The Taproom model.
Born, you knew that this was going to happen.
Yeah, right. But we all know that the Taproom model is the best model. First craft brewery in Coatesville, amazing. Great stuff. And they get hit with this hardship, and they have to go to the to-go model immediately. They open their doors. They're selling beers like crazy. They're out of crowlers in no time. They have to stop selling because they're out of aluminum and out of glass. You have to wait for their new order. However, I hear that other places stepped up and brought them crowlers and things like that so that they can still get beer out to the people. So I think it's amazing that people are stepping up and helping out other breweries. Awesome. And how many other situations like that have you seen?
Well, I think it's the idea that we've all been through it. We've all been on those opening days where you needed a little bit of a Band-Aid or something to bridge the gap. But those are like lifelong homies. Those are guys that we've been friends with for 20 plus years. And when shit hits the fan, I'll be goddamned if we're going to be sitting on growlers and crowlers. Like those guys got to have it.
Yeah.
They gotta get a launch at some point, and I'm proud to say that those guys are my friends, and I'm proud to say that we willing to give them anything we have that doesn't hurt us.
It's interesting. I can't think of many other industries where competitors are so friendly and so willing to help out.
Doesn't exist.
Isn't it crazy?
I love those guys, and
Oh, for sure.
And Dylan loves those guys, and Gov loves those guys. Like it'd be, you gotta fucking do whatever the fuck you can if you see somebody fucking rotting on the vine. Like, think about, we know how much work it took. John, Kevin, Dylan, myself, we know how much work it took to get to that spot, and how shitty it was, and the sacrifices made, and all the work that was put in, and all the fucking
and all of these surprises.
Oh,
right.
wow.
Surprises.
And they got
baby.
They got the ultimate surprise. And
that's right.
They really did.
It's like, oh,
and
boy,
like,
it's a girl.
for
It's a
sure.
boy, it's a girl.
and my thing was like, well, fuck, we have growlers that we can give them, and Dylan and I talked about, we had blank growlers that we could pass along, and like, fuck it, like it bridges the gap, and hopefully they can. But look, no brewery wants to fucking be crowler and growler only. Nobody wants to fucking do that.
Taproom's where it's at, man. It's what we started. It's, all of us, we started that, and seeing our taproom now just chairs up, and it's a heartbreaker. It really is, and I know you guys relate. It's a fucking heartbreaker.
Well, I'm at my tap room every day and bottle room every day, and it is like it's gutting. It hurts, and it's shitty.
Fucking sucks. But what I'll say is, so case in point, John, answer your question. A collab that we just did with the All Together beer, and John, thankfully you had open tank space, but it's one of those things. It's kind of that, I don't know. It's a come together. It'll always be there. It'll just continue to go that way, and that's what craft beer has always been about. It's been about that. It's been about the camaraderie.
I actually wouldn't say we had open tank space. We're like running out of beer, so like we just thought like it was a good idea to kind of get with some folks that needed some beer.
It's a great beer. It's fantastic.
It's amazing. It's super juicy, delicious, hoppy, like everything that I love beer to be. I think it's great.
Dylan, how come East Branch did not get involved or hasn't yet?
With what?
How come you guys didn't do one of these?
Honestly, I've been so buried in work that I didn't know that.
Honestly, it's tank space. It's tank space. Not everyone has tank space. We happen to have a tank space to do it.
John, we were not invited.
I honestly didn't know about it until we were online with this right now. I'm sorry.
Did they say it was a dinner party?
I don't. Yeah.
No, it's okay. This is like it's a normal thing that like people collaborate. It's not a bad thing.
Tigers, let's go.
All right, we have to show John the. Let me see if I can figure out how to do this again.
Yeah, John was missing when we put this up last time.
Jesus Christ, John.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't even know John Wilcox.
Oh, there it goes.
Look at that.
There's your tiger.
John.
Courtesy Evan
I
Ayton.
can't even see anything that's going on.
Careful. John, careful. There's the tiger right next to you.
Don't move. Don't actually move.
Oh shit.
They can smell fear.
Bees and dogs.
Nah, man, be cool. You can have at least 3 wives if you have that
What
tiger
is
next
that?
to you.
Yeah, shit.
Oh, there it is.
Guys, I'm sorry. I got to sign off.
Wait, what's up?
You gonna fall asleep?
Pretty much.
Right.
We just hit the 3-hour mark, so I think we're about good.
Yeah, we're good.
Dylan,
Guys, thank you. Basil
see you
moved inside, but I haven't seen him on camera in a minute.
Who?
Basil, your brother.
Baz. He
Baz
probably
has been asleep.
Baz
for
said
3 days.
peace.
He
I'm
just
sure
left
he
his
said
camera
peace.
on.
As was out.
But guys, thank you for hanging out. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it. It's been awesome. I would really like to do this again.
Yes,
John,
yes.
I gotta thank you, Jay-Z, for the idea. when we had a recent podcast with both Stolen Sun and Locust Lane, he was like, "Shit, man, I haven't talked to Tom in forever. It'd be really nice to catch up with these brewers." Exactly. So I'm glad that we were able to host it and kind of let you guys talk amongst each other and get some feedback and some input from your fans and your customers. And I think overall it was a great event. So thank you guys for putting in the time and allowing this and giving us the content and things like that. And I hope eventually it turns into something for you guys a little bit. We get your name out there, or maybe somebody else we'll try your beers out or something. But overall I think it's just nice to talk to you guys, and I hope everybody makes it out of this. Like I remember, Sean, you telling me early on, before it was the cool thing to say, you said, "We're all in this together. We're going to figure this out."
Yeah.
And so I know we will. And I wish you guys the best of luck and keep doing what you're doing. And hopefully, a couple months we'll be out of this and back in those tap rooms and high-fiving and hugging like Dylan likes to do.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
Listen, eat chicken, not bats.
No handshake.
Yes.
Yo, I'm gonna hug all of you.
Chickens, not bats.
Yeah, if you don't want to hug, don't come in.
The last thing I'll say is
Don't show up to my house if you don't want to hug.
everybody that owns a brewery or owns a restaurant has worked harder and tougher than anybody you know, and it'll be exciting to see what comes next.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Adaptive, tough folks. I'm excited to see what everybody does.
It's gonna be next level, man. Next.
And when you guys do some cool shit, I'll copy the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Well, kudos to you guys for adapting, for making it work, to getting the product out to us, and keeping it alive. I mean, that's what it's all about. Adapt or die, right? And you guys have figured it out. You guys have adapted.
Can I say one more thing?
Please.
John, not many people can fucking do roasting, brewing beer, and then fucking dealing with tigers.
Yeah. God bless you, man.
Thank you.
I can't believe you're alive.
I take great pride. And I think to your right, who is to your right? I want to see the people to your right.
No one.
Oh, Jesus.
It's just
Dude, honestly, I was hoping one of your kids would come out with a guitar and kill it.
No, I put my dog's asleep. Here, look, my dog has been here. Come here, Hop.
Pick his dog up by the neck.
My Austin's been here. She's been asleep.
We got to get a clear picture of John and make one of those memes that says one of Joe Exotic's future husbands.
No one wants clear pictures of me, all right? No one wants clear pictures of me.
Property of Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
I have all my teeth. Look. They're all there.
You got them all.
They're
You
all
don't
there.
quite qualify.
I love you guys. Thank you.
Love
Yeah,
you guys.
absolutely.
All right, man.
Thank you guys so much. Thanks for hanging out, everybody that
Good
watched.
job,
We
Might Be
appreciate you.
Brews. Good
Thanks,
job,
Kev.
John.
All right, guys. Have a
Yeah.
good night, and we'll talk to you next time.
Cheers.
Thank you. See you.
Cheers.
That